longest standing rivalry in the South, 100 years in the making. And they meet once again here on a sunny November day in Woodberry Forest. It's the Episcopal Maroon, an undefeated 8-0 on the season, facing the Woodberry Forest Tigers. 8-1, just the lone defeat on their campaign. Both of these teams have already locked up regular season conference titles. As we welcome you inside our broadcast booth alongside Mike Niebrick, I'm Matt President. Andy Mendoza will join us shortly from the sideline. But first, Mike, your thoughts on this much-anticipated rivalry game?
Well, this is definitely an anticipated game, and this is the kind of game that each team circles on their calendar at the start of the year. These rivalry games are particularly important for high school football. These are the games that kids really get excited about, they really get juiced up about, and that's what makes high school football fun, these special rivalry games. And like you mentioned, they've already locked up their conference title, so now it's all about pride, it's all about that bragging right, and it should be a fun football game here.
Well, let's take a look at the series history in this one. As we mentioned, a very long history at that. 57 wins for the Woodberry Tigers, 49 for Episcopal, and 9 ties, including their last meeting. Last year, it was 14-all. Woodberry Forest scored the lone second-half touchdown, a fourth-quarter one at that, and they ended the game 14-all. That will not happen today. The coaches have decided there will be overtime. Each team will get a turn with the ball from the 10-yard line, a college-type format. But that a long way away. We have much to talk about before then, a big game to be played. And for a preview of that game, we'll send you to the DeMatha Studios. Here's Bob Trossett.
Hey everybody, and welcome into another edition of the Prep Zone here on site at DeMatha Catholic High School. Really excited to be with you today, and Bob Trossett alongside my buddies, my fellas, Derek Kramer and Brenton Randolph. We're excited to bring you 2 game previews, and we're going to start it off with Brenton. Brenton, you had a chance to take a look at Woodberry versus Episcopal this coming weekend. It's not playoffs yet for these guys. What do we expect going in?
Well, Bob, this is one of the longest-standing rivalries in high school football. These two teams have been playing each other for over 100 years, and last year's game ended in a 14-14 tie. I can tell you neither team was too happy about that result, but when you look at Episcopal, you've got to talk about their running back, Paris Jones, who has been having a very good season. He's a transfer from Bishop Ireton. He's got over 1,000 yards rushing this season and 13 touchdowns, so he'll be somebody that Woodberry Forest will have to look to stop if they want to if they want to win this game this season. And when you talk about Woodberry Forest, one of their star players is going to be their quarterback, Lindell Stone. So Lindell Stone has been on fire this season. He's got 39 touchdown passes, and this is somebody who can make every single throw that you have in the book. I mean, you just look at some of this film here, and the footage is amazing. He's going to make a great touchdown pass off his back foot, and I mean, that's a Dilfer dime right there. So this guy is somebody that you really got to talk about when you're talking about the Maroon defense, and they've got to try to shut him down.
All right, as far as our top performers go and our players to watch heading into the weekend, who do you have on the Episcopal side of the football?
Right, on the Episcopal side, I mentioned him earlier. It's Paris Jones. Like I said, he's got an average of 7.6 yards per carry, so he's somebody that's very effective every single time he gets the football, and he's tough to bring down. So he's somebody that I would say that Woodberry Forest will have to stop.
It sure is a long time rivalry, almost 100 years between the two teams that they've been going head-to-head. How about on Woodberry's side of the football?
Yeah, right. Woodberry's side, like I said, Lindell Stone, he's somebody who's very accurate, too. He's got a 65.8% completion percentage, which is very good in high school football. Over 3,000 yards passing and 37 touchdowns. So this is somebody that's been on fire all season long. He's been lighting up the scoreboard, and Episcopal is going to have to try and shut him down this game if they want to win.
All right, that is your preview ahead of this weekend's contest between Episcopal and Woodberry. Should be a good one. Brenton, as always, thank you for your insights. Again, this is the Prep Zone here from DeMatha Catholic.
And now we'll take a listen to the national anthem. Alrighty, the teams are hyped up and getting ready for this matchup. And Mike, let's take a look at the keys to the game first for the Episcopal Maroon.
Yeah, the keys to the game for the Episcopal Maroon here: fight through adversity. They haven't faced a lot of adversity throughout the course of the year. Really, only one game that they really had a dogfight. Fight through the adversity, as they're going to face some today. Also, stay resilient. If you start getting momentum, keep the pedal down. Stay resilient against this Woodberry team and play tough. Play tough in the trenches on defense and offense. Run that football and get to the quarterback for Woodberry Forest.
All right, now the players to watch for Episcopal, starting with Luigi Villain.
Luigi Villain, stud defensive end for this Episcopal defense, a 4-star recruit going to Michigan next year. Watch him to have a big impact in that pass rush, getting to Lindellstone from Woodberry Forest and disrupting that pass game that is so effective for Woodberry Forest's offense.
Villain, not the only 4-star recruit on that defense. Jonathan Sutherland as well. He plays safety.
Again, another 4-star recruit, ranked the number 24 safety by ESPN this year. Going to Penn State next season, the captain of this Episcopal team, that heart and soul of the defense. Jonathan Sutherland needs to have a big day for that defense in order to stop this Woodberry Forest passing attack.
All right, so we hit on 2 guys on the defensive side. Now how about Christian Fournier, an offensive lineman?
Yeah, Christian Fournier going to Lehigh next year, another big part of this Episcopal team. They love to run the football. That's what this team does on offense, and that O-line is going to be particularly key today if they're going to win this football game. That entire O-line, led by Christian Fournier, needs to step up and establish the line of scrimmage early on.
All right, so we talked about Episcopal. Now, Mike, how about the keys for Woodberry Forest?
Yeah, and the first one here is going to be stopping the run. We just talked about Episcopal's offense wanting to run the football. This defense for Woodberry Forest needs to stop the run. They need to make them one-dimensional and force that offense to throw the football throughout the course of the game. Next one is protect the quarterback. We just saw Luigi Villain. The defensive line for this Episcopal team is extremely good at getting to the quarterback. This offensive line for Woodberry Forest needs to protect Lindellstone and give him time to throw the football down the field. And technique wins. In the trenches in high school, technique is what wins football games, whether it be on the defensive or offensive side. The team with the best technique usually comes out on top in these big games for high school.
All right, now let's take a look at Lindellstone. Mike, he's really the heart and soul of this Woodberry Forest offense.
Lindellstone's an impressive quarterback. That one of the most impressive that I've seen throughout the course of the season. A UVA commit, over 3,000 yards on the season, 37 touchdowns. But the thing that we talked to the coaches beforehand, and the thing that they love the most about this kid is he is a character kid. He's the kind of guy that after football ends, he's the kind of guy that you're going to want to hire as part of your company. He's a character kid. He's the captain of this team, and look for him to have a big day today.
It's a pass-first offense for Woodberry Forest, but when they do hand it off, Jameel Wilson is the feature back.
Jameel Wilson, the feature back for this team, 661 yards and 5 touchdowns on the year. And like you mentioned, they're not going to run the football every play. This is a pass-first offense, but Jameel Wilson is key to keeping the defense honest. He's also not the biggest kid out there, but coaches say he has a heart of a lion. He imposes himself on defenses. Look for him to change up the pace here throughout the course of the day against this Episcopal defense.
And then Joe Stevenson on the defensive side for Woodberry Forest. What should we see from him?
Yeah, Joe Stevenson, the inside linebacker, a West Point commit, and that really tells you all you need to know about the kid. He is a character kid as well, going to West Point next year, 75 tackles on the season, a big-time player for this Woodberry defense. Look for him to have a big game in stopping the run. Again, we mentioned that was one of the keys for the game. He needs to have a big day to stop the run.
Alrighty, so Andy Mendoza down on the sideline, caught up with the head coach of Episcopal, Pantos Valgaris. He's in his 5th season. Let's take a listen.
We're here with Episcopal head coach Panos Valgaris. And, Coach, what are the keys for today's game? Obviously a big rivalry game against Woodberry Forest. What are the keys for you?
Controlling the line of scrimmage, playing hard, great effort, and securing the football. That's the key to the game today.
And what's the plan defensively for Woodberry Forest's quarterback, Lindellstone? Obviously, he's got a big arm, pro-style quarterback. What are the plan defensively?
Well, he's obviously a very special player. I don't think there's any team that has really stopped him since he's been playing. So what we hope to do is try to slow him down, obviously try to get to the receivers and apply some pressure.
And last question for you, Coach. Obviously, it's a big rivalry game. What are the emotions coming into the game? What did you tell your team in the week leading up to the game?
Play the game within the confines of football and not let the distractions take us away from what we're here to do, which is to play football.
Appreciate it, Coach.
And on the Woodberry Forest side of things, Clint Alexander today is coaching his final game. You saw our cameras caught a glimpse of the airplane flying above with the banner in his honor, while Andy Mendoza caught up with him just a few moments ago.
Andy Mendoza here with Woodberry Forest head coach Clint Alexander. Coach, obviously a big rivalry game, a lot of emotion surrounding
they're
this
about to
game.
kick off.
What's been the message to your team so far this week?
Just have fun, celebrate it, enjoy the moment. It's one of the greatest traditions in the South. The fact that they're a part of it, all they need.
And defensively, how are you planning on stopping Episcopal running back Paris Jones? Obviously, he's averaging about 7 yards a carry. It's going to be a tough challenge for your defense. What's the plan?
Well, I don't know if anybody's stopped him yet. So we try to limit him. We got to get some 3 and outs, wrap up. First guy's got to wrap up, make the tackle, secure the tackle, and then get there with some friends.
And, Coach, I've got to ask you, obviously, 11-year career here at Woodberry Forest. It's been an impressive run. Last game here today. What are your emotions heading into this game?
I told the boys this week, this is my 12th Episcopal game. I've had 12 chances at these guys. You get 1. This week's about them. I'll worry about me tomorrow.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Episcopal gets the ball first, the opening kickoff out of bounds, so the Maroon will start with it at their 35-yard line. Seth Aguinobi leads the offense out, the junior, 6'2", 195 from Los Angeles, California, as they break the huddle in their away whites. The student section down here to our left making some noise. Aguinobi talking to the head official as he blows the play dead before the first play of the ball game.
Yeah, it looks like a little confusion up front with the footballs that start for Woodberry Forest. The kickoff out of bounds, obviously not the way you wanted to start the game. Probably a little bit of nerves going on there. But a great starting field position here for Episcopal's offense. And again, look for them to establish the run game early.
So 1st and 10 from the 35, shotgun formation for Aguinobi. Paris Jones is to his right. The motion man is Portabanco. Keeping it is Aguinobi running to his right, has some running room on the outside and pushes forward towards the first down marker. They're going to say he's just short, give him 8 yards on the gain on the first down run.
And that's exactly what you want to see if you're Episcopal's coaching staff. Establish the run game early. Use Seth Aguinobi back there as an extra runner. That gives you an extra man to block in the run game. Use him as an extra runner, but also don't forget about your running back, Paris Jones, having a big year himself.
Both the quarterback and a running back in this offense can do the job on the ground as Aguinobi gives it off to Jones on the draw up the middle, and he's going to be just short of the first down.
Yeah, we talked about Woodberry Forest's need to stop the run. What you have to do in high school football is penetrate the line of scrimmage early. That's how you stop the run. That frees up your linebackers to make plays. A great job there by the Woodberry Forest defensive line, penetrating early and getting the tackle short. Big 3rd and 1 coming up here for Episcopal's offense.
First 3rd down of the ball game. Once again, a shotgun formation, 2 wide receivers to the bottom of your screen. It's Portabanco and Furvis. The give is to Jones, trying to get to the outside. He has the first down up to midfield where he's ridden out of bounds.
And a great read there by Paris Jones. Woodberry Forest loaded the box. They played man-to-man on the 2 wide receivers here to the field side, loaded the box with everybody else to try and stop the run and stop that 1-yard conversion. Paris Jones saw that right away, bounced it out, got the first down.
So we're looking at the team comparison. Woodberry Forest, a prolific offense. Episcopal, they provide the counter, a great defense.
Yeah, and that's the matchup I'm looking forward to seeing. The Woodberry Forest offense against this Episcopal defense, only averaging 9 points against a game. That is extremely impressive for high school.
1st and 10 again. Jones on the carry, looking for running room, tries to cut it upfield, and he's stuffed right there.
Carry by Jones. Tacklers led by number 6, Corey Smith.
Corey Smith on the tackle. Joseph Stevenson, the player to watch, in there as well.
Yeah, just a good job by that defensive line stringing out the run, which allowed the linebackers to flow over top, meet him at the hole for a minimum gain. Long 2nd down coming up here. Again, they need to establish that front early if you're Woodberry Forest's defense. Establish that front and don't allow them running lanes.
The ball in Woodberry Forest territory. Opening drive of the game for Episcopal. Jones running right, has some blockers, trying to get to the edge, cuts it upfield. And it looks like he's just short of the first down, very close to the line to gain.
And I'll tell you what, if you're Episcopal's offensive staff right now, you're extremely happy with what you've seen early on. The defensive strategy that I've seen so far for Woodberry Forest is play man-to-man on the wide receivers and load the box up. Right now, this Episcopal offense is running the football extremely effectively against a very heavy box that Woodberry Forest is giving them. So something to be very happy about if you're Episcopal's coaching staff.
3rd and short again for Episcopal. 3rd and 1. Aguanabi takes. Gives it to Jones. He has some running room, has the first down and more, down to the 33-yard line.
And that play was a beautiful example of what you want to see happen if you're Episcopal's offense. Aguanobi is a running threat as well. It makes it very difficult for the defense to read who's getting the football. You saw a couple guys there stay on Aguanobi, which allowed Jones to get the room that he needed for that first down.
1st and 10. Once again, Aguanobi operating from shotgun with Jones to his left. This time it'll be an end around to Sutherland, spinning upfield, and he gets back to the 31-yard line.
Tackled by Smith.
They'll mark him in between the 31 and 32. Gain of a couple there on the end around.
Yeah, just trying to find different ways to get their playmakers the football. Sutherland, like we mentioned, the Penn State commit, primarily playing safety for them, but just finding different ways to get your playmakers the football.
Ricky Meisen, the motion man from left to right. Aguanobi takes. He'll keep it running right, trying to get to the edge again. He will push upfield and get down to the 29-yard line. That'll bring up the third down on this drive, but this time not 3rd and 1, but 3rd and longer.
Exactly, and this is their first third and long-ish of the drive so far, and we have yet to see a pass be called on for this Episcopal offense. So very interesting to see what the play call is here for Episcopal.
Interesting also at the high school level to see where field goal range might be. Duncan Trout is the kicker for the Maroon. Aguanobi takes, and he'll give it off on the delay. Up the middle is Jones pushing forward. There's a flag in on the play. He's close to the first down mark, just short.
Tackled by Stevenson with help. Flag on the play.
So Woodberry Forest swarming to the ball, keeping Episcopal short of the line to gain. But were they offsides? No, it's a hold.
Yeah, it looked like a hold there at the edge. One of those, in high school, it's very difficult to run those stretch plays because you have everybody flowing across. It makes it very difficult for the offensive line to stay on their guy and push them where they want to go when the flow is so heavy to one side. So a little bit of a hold there, and now a 3rd and very long where you would have to expect they're going to throw the football here.
Look at Sergio Portabanco at the bottom of your screen. It's 3rd and 16. Aguanobi off of play action, rolling to his left. Pressure comes, and he just gets it off. A nice one-hand grab by Sutherland, but well short of where he needed to get for the first down. That'll bring up 4th down and long.
Yeah, 3rd and 15 is not a place that this Episcopal offense wants to be in. They're not a very explosive passing offense, but we're at the point of the field here, right a little bit inside the 40-yard line, where you would guess that they're going to go for it, as there really isn't much of a reason to punt the football.
A good punt would only net them 25 yards or so.
Yeah, you would think at most 25 yards. You pin them a little bit deep, but I think in games like this, the conference title's not on the line. This is a rivalry game. You're playing for pride. Go for it on situations like this.
Purvis and Portabanco at the bottom of your screen, and whistles blow. There's a flag on the play. Timeout called by Episcopal. So with an upcoming 4th and 15, they want to get a play call in and see if they can move the chains.
Yeah, the play clock was winding down there, and this is the spot where if you get that delay of game, now you're looking at 4th and 20. Then you might consider kicking the football. So I think a good timeout for Episcopal there, getting the right play that they want here for this 4th and long.
As you look, Woodberry Forest is sending several players on to play at the nearby University of Virginia. Their quarterback, Lyndall Stone, who we will see shortly, John Curvin, who's an outside linebacker, also plays some tight end. And Terrell Jenna, a favorite target of Stone.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Lyndall Stone today, watching him play. I've watched a lot of his film. He's a very polished passer. UVA is getting themselves an extremely good quarterback next season in Lyndall Stone.
And when you look at the commits for Woodberry Forest, not just this year, but also in years past, it's not just good athletic programs that they go to, but very elite academic institutions. Episcopal offense back out there, 4th and 15. 4 wide receivers. Pressure comes, and wrapped up and dropped for a sack. Aguanobi goes down, and Woodberry Forest will take over near midfield. A big sack on 4th down.
Yeah, huge sack there for Woodberry Forest's defensive line. They played a zone for the first time in that drive, let their guys play zone. And Aguanobi just couldn't find anybody. That defensive line got the push they needed, and that was probably the last thing that you wanted if you were Episcopal, to take a sack. And now the ball gets pushed out closer to midfield for this already potent Woodberry Forest offense.
And you look at the replay, Billy Solms, the defensive lineman, just shoved the offense back into Aguanobi, and he had nowhere to go on that one. So now we get our first look at the prolific Woodberry Forest offense, and once again they come out in a spread formation. That's what they've been known to do. Motion man, and it's a run on the first play. This is Wilson over right tackle and out across midfield into Episcopal territory on their first play from scrimmage.
Great first play, and I love what they did with that formation there. They had the tight end out wide towards the flats area and just came and cracked back blocked on the defensive end, gave their running back room there for a good 6-yard gain.
2nd and 7. Ball on the 48. Carter, the motion man. Back to throw is Stone. Looking deep down the left side. He's got a man. It's broken up. Trana, the intended receiver, and a nice job backtracking is Sutherland to break up that pass. And now we'll go down to the sideline with a report from Andy Mendoza.
Hey guys, that last drive you noticed that Episcopal was running the ball a lot. Woodberry Forest subbing a lot of defensive linemen in. One that I noticed, number 75, Derek Laura, of course he was their best defensive lineman and a captain on this team. Moved to offensive line due to some injuries, was in there on that 4th down sack. Keep an eye on him. He's a big player for Woodberry Forest.
3rd and 7 here. Stone motioning to his spread wideouts. 5 wide receivers here. Stone, a quick out, and the ball is caught. That's Carter, and he pushes forward. It looks like he has the first down along the near sideline.
And a beautiful read there for Stone. They looked like they were playing man-to-man coverage. The corner was up pressed close at the beginning of the snap count. He noticed them bail out late in his cadence. Knew he had the quick throw. Beautiful job there, reading that play for Lyndall Stone and getting that first down.
Stone once again from shotgun. 3 wide receivers to the far side. Next to him is Wilson. Stone to throw across the middle, has Jana on the reception. He's tackled hard, but has enough for the first down to the 25-yard line as this offense wastes no time in moving the chains.
Again, another beautiful read there by Stone. He had a flat slant combination, had to read that outside linebacker, read that he was going out to the flat, threw it right off his ear to Lana. Beautiful catch there, not afraid to get into the teeth of the defense and catch the football.
Jana, his favorite target, 56 receptions on the season, as once again Stone goes empty. Halfway through the first quarter, Stone to throw, looking to Jana again right at the first down marker. He turns upfield, sheds a tackler, and picks up the first down.
Doing a really nice job here for Woodberry Forest, establishing momentum, getting some rhythm going on offense, keeping the pace high, not allowing Episcopal to make very many changes on defense. Beautiful job here with the comeback route, throwing it to a spot, letting Jana make a play after the catch.
So Woodberry Forest into the red zone. 1st and 10. Stone rolling to his right this time, looking towards the near side of the field. It's a sliding catch made by Carter. Right against the sideline. Carter, a couple catches on the drive, the sophomore from Louisa, Virginia.
Stone definitely has a lot of weapons that he can throw to. It's not just Jana that has been the reason for his success. He has 3 or 4 guys out there that he will throw the football to on any given play. A really big weapon for a quarterback to have, especially a guy with this much talent in Lyndall Stone.
John Curvin this time in the backfield as well. To the left of Stone. Wilson to his right now motions out of the backfield. Stone hands the curve, and the big guy up the middle, turning forward, still pushing, loses the football. Football's loose. Diving for it in the end zone. It looks like Woodberry Forest has it. Touchdown, Tigers. An improbable way to get the scoring started, but Woodberry Forest is on the board.
That was Khalid Thomas that came up with the football in the end zone there. A very interesting play call for Woodberry Forest, giving it to their big tight end, a guy who doesn't have a lot of carries on the year, doesn't have a lot of experience with the football. So very interesting play call. Just didn't do a very good job at holding onto that football at the end zone, but a great job pursuing the football for Woodberry Forest and getting that touchdown.
Colton Alexander adds the extra point. 7-0 Woodberry on top, as they drive about 55 yards to pay dirt on a fumble recovery in the end zone by Khalid Thomas. And a heads-up play by him, a wide receiver not even really involved in the play besides to block. And as you look, he's in the middle of your screen, comes all the way across the field in the back of the end zone to make the recovery.
Yeah, just a great job pursuing the football for Thomas, and not a great job pursuing the football by Episcopal. They should have had a couple more guys over there. If you were pursuing the tackle, you would have had a few more guys over there to come up with the fumble recovery. But a picture-perfect start for this Woodberry Forest offense.
Seven 0 Tigers, 4:42 to play in the opening quarter. The opening kickoff went out of bounds. Colton Alexander will try to keep it in play on this attempt. Paris Jones and Jonathan Sutherland back deep for Episcopal. The kick is short, a squibber again towards the sideline. Fair catch is called for and made at the 28-yard line.
Well, it shows you what they want to do. They want to keep it away from their playmakers, Sutherland and Jones in the back there. So maybe that first kick wasn't exactly as big of a miss as we thought, seeing that they want to squib it there and just make Episcopal drive the length of the field.
Episcopal on their first drive moved it into Tiger territory, turned it over on downs after a holding penalty, brought up 4th and 15. They start this drive at their own 28-yard line. Aguanobi loses the snap. Looks like he fell on it. Not the way you want to start off the drive if you're Episcopal.
Definitely not the way you want to start off the drive. And that was the first time that we had seen them under center. So definitely a little bit more of a tricky snap to get if you're the quarterback being under center, especially in high school when you're so used to doing shotgun snaps.
So 2nd and 11 now after a loss of 1 on the fumbled snap. The handoff is to Jones, inside tackle on the run, and he tumbles forward for about a gain of 5.
High school carry by number 2.
Just a nice counter play there by Episcopal, trying to get some yards, trying to make it into a third manageable situation. Now you have a 3rd and 5. You're right back where you want it for Episcopal's offense.
So we saw them run it on a couple of 3rd and shorts, and then on their 3rd and 6, they tried to run. Holding was the call, and that backed them up and led to the sack and the turnover on downs. Once again, Aguanobi under center. Play action fake. Looking to pass deep over the middle. He's got a man, and it's in and out of the hands. He was looking for Shedler Furvis down the middle of the field, and the coverage was good by the Woodberry Forest defense.
Yeah, and that was number 3, BB Olanion, going to UConn next year with some great coverage there. Played him tight the whole way through, and kind of a surprising call there. 3rd down, they went with the play-action bomb down the middle of the field, but BB was right there with his guy step and step. A great job there getting his hand up and disrupting the pass.
So Ricky Meisen in punt formation for Episcopal. Terrell Jana back to receive, stands at his 32-yard line. It's a wobbly kick. Jana moves up and catches it at the 35, sheds a tackler as he has some running room across midfield, far sideline. Meisen drags him down, into Episcopal territory, taken out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, great return there by Jana, but unfortunately this one's going to come back. Flag on the play, looked like a block in the back there right as soon as he caught the football. So a great return there, and if you're Episcopal's special teams coach, you might want to reconsider kicking him the football the next time you have to punt.
It looked like a penalty that you almost had to make, though, protecting your returner, as he did not call for a fair catch.
Yeah, I was looking for him to throw the arm up there, but he just never did, never called for the fair catch. A very risky play by Jana. So like you said, almost a play that you have to make. Not seeing your guy make the fair catch, almost a block you have to make in order for to keep him safe and avoid the big hit.
So, as is the case in any rivalry game, the student section making some noise here. Both sides pregame had their parking lot tailgates on a very expansive Woodberry Forest campus. Stone leads the offense back out there 7-0. The Tigers lead it. 3 minutes and 14 seconds to play in the opening quarter. Stone in shotgun. A motion man across the field is Thomas. He's the one who recovered the fumble for the opening touchdown. Stone to throw. Quick out, and the pass is tipped at the line of scrimmage. That was Villain getting his hands up there.
Yeah, Luigi Villain making his presence known. We didn't really see much of him in that first drive, but they're making his presence known, getting up the field, getting his hands up to stop that throw there by Stone. A good job there by Villain, getting a disruption.
And that's what this Woodberry Forest offensive line has to combat. A very big, very physical defensive line for Episcopal. As Stone rolls to his right, looking downfield, fires it, and an incomplete pass. The pass intended for Wallace Burner, unable to control it on the near sideline.
Yeah, and that's the second rollout that we've seen Woodberry Forest's offense do, and you just said it right there. This Episcopal defensive line is very big and very physical, and they're fast. They're fast up front, so they want to try and get Lindlestone out of the pocket, give him some extra time to throw the football. Really nice throw there, but unfortunately his wide receiver couldn't come up with a catch.
So after Woodberry Forest faced no resistance on their first drive, they're in danger of going 3 and out here. Bilodeau, the motion man. As Stone takes, play action fake. Steps up, fires it deep down the near side of the field. He's looking for Carter. Carter goes up, and he's unable to haul it in, but flags come flying from all directions. He drew the pass interference call.
Stone's pass intended for number 4, Keith Carter.
He was blanketed by Ben Chambia on the play.
He was blanketed all right, partner, and that was a product of an underthrown ball by Stone. It was actually really good coverage initially, but when you have an underthrown ball, it's and the defensive back is already behind the wide receiver, it's very difficult for him to make an adjustment and not draw a flag there. Like you see, the ball was underthrown. Really difficult for the defensive back to kind of get his head turned around and stop his momentum going forward. So a tough break for Episcopal's defense there.
Well, 2 things I noticed, Mike. One, exactly what you said. He never got his head turned. He never found the football. But also, the pressure came, and Stone had to throw off his back foot. And again, it was Villain applying it.
Yeah, Villain has now made his presence known twice in this drive. They've gotten pressure on Stone this entire drive every time he's dropped back to throw the football. So maybe a couple adjustments were made there on the sideline for Episcopal's defense.
So it'll be a fresh set of downs after the pass interference call. Pistol formation this time for Stone. He hands it off. Inside carry. Hopping over tacklers is Wilson. And he's taken down after a gain of 3. Make it 4 out to the 36.
Tacklers led by number 24, Vincent.
And we mentioned it earlier, the run game is not what this Woodberry Forest offense is known for, but Wilson is so good back there, finding different holes, just using his size. He's not a big guy, using that small size to find different holes and pick up yards. 4 yards on a first down play is exactly what you want to stay ahead of the sticks.
It keeps the offense on schedule for Stone, as he has 4 wide receivers, 3 to the bottom of your screen. He goes with the hard count. Looking to throw, steps up in the pocket. Villain again applying pressure. Stone is going to take off and run with it. He crosses the 40 down the sideline, gets out of bounds at the 45-yard line.
Carry by number 1, Wendell Stone.
Really nice job there by Stone stepping up in the pocket. We saw Villain put that outside speed rush on, force Stone to step up in the pocket, and then just using his legs there. We see here number 10, Villain, putting that speed rush on, gives Stone the ability to step up in the pocket, and then just using those legs to get the first down for his offense.
And Mike, he kept his eyes down the field the whole time too.
Absolutely, and that's something I've seen on his tape throughout the course of the year. He steps up in the pocket, but keeps his eyes down the field looking for his wide receivers the whole time.
Carter and Bilodeau stacked to the near side. Stone in shotgun. Hands off to Wilson, spinning up the middle and turning his legs forward for a gain of 3.
Again, Wilson, he's a small kid. He's just a little bit of a scat back. Great job there getting in the hole, fighting off that first block with that little spin move that he just did there. Picks up 3 or 4 yards. Again, just using that run game to keep the offense on time, keep the offense ahead of the sticks, and just, doing a little bit of a mix-up for that pass game.
Stone coming to the sideline for the play. Now he'll relay it to his offense. Just gives off the vibe that he's so composed back there. No rush from the senior quarterback. The motion man is Thomas out to the left. Stone to throw, dumps it off to his running back Wilson, and the pass short of Wilson at his feet, incomplete.
Luigi Villan again, putting that pressure on. That outside speed rush that he does is so good. He's such a physical guy, but he has so much speed. Just does that speed rush, knows he can't get to the quarterback, sticks his hands up right at the perfect moment to deflect that football. That's twice that we've seen the instincts from Villan to just get his hands up when he knows he's not going to get to the quarterback.
And we saw him a couple times coming from the left side. That time he was on the right side of the formation where he is now. 3rd and 7 for Stone and company. 4 wide receivers for the Tigers. Stone to throw. Stepping up, looking over the middle, has his man Jana, who spins forward to the 36-yard line.
Really nice play design there for Woodberry Forest's offense. They knew the zone defense was coming. They ran a couple of crossers, a couple extending routes to open up that middle of the field there. Jana did a great job finding the soft spot, and Stone delivering his favorite target, the football.
They mark it at the 38. Time winding down, under a minute to play here in the first quarter. Once again, stacked wide receivers at the bottom of your screen. And Jana, the lone one at the top. And now whistles blow before the play, and it's a timeout called by Woodberry Forest.
Timeout, Woodberry.
So each team has used the timeout here in the first quarter of play. 35 seconds to go. As we take a look at the last time out for Woodberry Forest, they defeated Fork Union 56-27. They scored 14 points in a matter of 30 seconds to seize momentum and win their 4th consecutive Prep League title under Clint Alexander.
It's impressive what this team's done throughout the course of the year. We talked about it a little bit in the pregame show. I think they've had a tougher schedule than Episcopal has throughout the course of the season. They've been a little bit more battle tested. That Fork Union team, time in and time out, is a very good football team. They have a lot of very good players, a lot of players that are going to be playing D1 next year. So that was a very impressive win for Woodberry Forest and a great game to kind of get primed up and ready to go for this Episcopal game today.
Teams back out there after the Woodberry Forest timeout as Curvin motions to the left of Stone. Stone takes, looking to throw. Looking to the left, and a jump ball and incomplete. Khalid Thomas the intended target, but Jana was running down the left side uncovered.
Yeah, and that was the first mistake that I've seen Stone make today. You never want to be late to the flat area, especially in that man-to-man type coverage. When you're late to the flat, the defense has already had a chance to get out there and sit on the route. That's exactly what happened there for Jana. A break there for the Woodberry Forest offense.
Colin Dixon shaken up on the play. A defensive lineman from Winston-Salem. He's being attended to on the field. But just, Mike, to go back to your point about the different schedules of these teams. It's tough to compare when you play different competition. Obviously, both very successful seasons. The 1 point of comparison, both teams played Bullis this year. Episcopal defeating Bullis 27-13. Woodberry Forest, for what it's worth, topped Bullis 42-23.
Definitely hard to compare because they both have different schedules. They both play different teams. But, you know, coming from a Virginia high school background, having been around it for a long time now, you know, you get a sense for who teams are, you know, year in and year out. And just looking at the two different schedules, it just felt to me that Woodberry Forest has been a little bit more tested this year. Episcopal, don't get me wrong, has had a tough schedule. They've done an extremely nice job at going 8-0. That's a very hard thing to do. And looking for that 9th win here, even more hard to have an undefeated season. So, but ultimately, in rivalry games, you can throw records out the window. They mean absolutely nothing. It's all about who wants it more in games like this.
2nd and 10 for the Tigers. Low snap, and just falling on it is Stone, making sure they kept possession as he downs it at the 45-yard line.
And that was a big play there for Episcopal. A great break for them. Now you have a 3rd down and looks like about 18 yards. This is a long, long way to go. And, you know, as explosive as this Woodberry defense or as this Woodberry offense is, tough to do here on 3rd and 18.
So they're just going to let the clock run out here in the first quarter. Woodberry Forest with a 7-0 lead thanks to a fumble recovery in the end zone by Khalid Thomas. Woodberry Forest driving. When we come back, you're listening and watching the Tigers football on DMV Stream. Third and 17 upcoming for Woodberry Forest as the teams have switched sides. So the Tigers now will move from right to left in their home black uniforms. Once again, it's rivalry game, the game here in Orange, Virginia. Lyndall Stone, the quarterback, in shotgun with 3 wide receivers to the near side. Now one motions towards the formation. Stone to throw, an out route caught by Jenna, makes a man miss as he's tackled just short of the 30-yard line. That's short of what he needed to pick up the first down, but makes it a manageable 4th down should they choose to go for it, Mike.
Exactly, you said it right there. That play call was designed to get as much yardage back as you could. They knew they were going for it on 4th down if they didn't get it. Great play call there. Great job by Jana with that comeback route, and a great throw there by Stone, putting it outside and letting Jana catch the football and make something after the catch.
Carter and Thomas split out to the far side. 4th and 4. Stone looking to throw. Outside, a sliding attempt, but it's incomplete. Thomas the intended target. And the ball will go back to the Maroon.
Great stop there for the Maroon defense. A little bit of a miss throw there by Stone. That's one of those very difficult throws that you have to be on time. His feet look a little bit off there, which led to the missed throw. Again, this is a very difficult throw. This fast out route. He needs to be on time there, and like you saw, he did a little hitch there in his step, which led to the missed throw. But a huge stop there by Episcopal's defense. Now they need to establish something on offense, whether it be running the football or maybe throwing in a little bit of pass game there. They need to get something going here for this offense.
You're looking at Woodberry Forest record since 2008. They've won 4 straight conference titles, 9 titles in the last 12 years as Episcopal comes out on offense. Sutherland, the motion man, the inside give is to Jones. Not much running room there, stacked up right about at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, beautiful job by the front four there for Woodberry Forest, getting penetration early. It allows their linebackers to come in and fill those gaps, stopped them for a short gain there.
Billy Psalms again, the defensive tackle number 68 in black, just pushing the line straight backwards at the snap. And the rest of the guys on that defensive front clogging up the holes. 2nd and 9, 2 wide receivers for Aguinobi. He's rolling to his left and looking to throw. Pump fakes, and he's going to be wrapped up and taken down for a sack.
Great
It's Connor
pursuit.
Cock.
Yeah, great pursuit there by Connor Cock, just following the quarterback the whole time on the rollout. And it looked like, to me, I think they got a little bit greedy there for Episcopal. You had the out route. They were trying to do a little bit too much. They're trying to do a little bit of an out and up. That's a route that takes a long time to develop. I don't think that those kind of plays are going to be open today, you know, not having a prolific pass game like Woodberry Forest does.
So now it's 3rd and long for Episcopal after the sack, 3rd and 11. Single coverage against Sutherland and Furvis at the bottom of your screen. Looking to throw. Aguinobi rolling out again, being chased, and he will fire it downfield looking for Sutherland. Pass broken up. A nice play there to get a hand in. It was Jake Cooper, the defensive back for the Tigers.
Really nice job there by Jake Cooper, staying with Sutherland, the big-time athlete, the Penn State recruit. Great job there by Cooper, just staying with him the whole way. Aguinobi actually had him, had he had a little bit more time here. He had him on the corner route early, had he led him to the sideline a little bit. But that Tiger defense forced him out of the pocket, forced him to be late to the throw, and a great job there by Cooper getting there and blocking down the throw.
Meisen will punt. Jana standing at his own 40-yard line. He gets off a good high spiral. Jana backpedaling to the 30, still going back. It lands at the 20-yard line, and Jana will wave his arms saying, just let them down it there as it trickles all the way to the 15-yard line. What a boot there by Ricky Meisen.
That was a beautiful kick, beautiful spiral ball, had some beautiful distance on it. And you talk about flipping the field. Now you force Woodberry Forest to drive basically the whole length of the field. Normal high school punts, you're thinking maybe 30 yards max would have given the Tigers the football at the 40, 45-yard line. They now have the ball at the 15-yard line. A beautiful job by the punter there at flipping the field.
That punt went from 20 to 20 in the air. And now Lyndall, Stone, and company will have to go 80 yards here with 9:28 to play in the second quarter. They turned it over on downs, failing to convert a 4th and 4 their last time out. Stone barking signals to his offensive line, now backs up into shotgun, hands it off, up the middle, and keeping his feet turning forward is Jameel Wilson.
Yeah, beautiful job there by Luigi Villan, reading the play, that kind of zone read game, but he's using his athleticism, using that length that he has to kind of play both, honestly. But ultimately, a good job by Wilson there, getting 5 yards, now a 2nd and manageable here for the offense.
2nd and 6. Once again, 4 wideouts for Stone, who's rolling to his left and tosses near side. Catch is made by Thomas. Not much running room as he's tackled immediately on the play by Salim Turner Mohammed.
And it looks like he's going to be a little bit short here, going to bring up a 3rd and 1 situation. A big play for this Episcopal defense to get off the field and give their offense some good field position.
3rd and short, 3rd and 2. The give is up the middle. Pushing forward is Wilson. And Stone thinks they have the first down, motioning forward. Let's see if the referees agree.
Yeah, it looks like he got it by maybe a half a football.
First down, Tigers.
The head official indicates it is a first down, so the Tigers move the chains. Stone back to throw again. looking to his left and fires it over the head of Thomas. Maybe a miscommunication there as Thomas broke off the route.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of miscommunication there between Thomas and Stone. But again, Luigi Villan did not get there, but he's gotten close a couple of times just using that technique that he has. He's so good at using his hands. One of the things I was so impressed with watching his tape is watching the technique that he uses with his hands, getting them extended and moving the offensive lineman any which way he pleases.
And he moves around himself, as we noted, back on the left side of this defensive line as Stone is back to pass once more. Fires it deep down the right side, looking for Carter. He makes the catch, and he's taken down at the 30-yard line.
And I've been wondering when that play call was going to be called. They've been playing man-to-man defense to the wide side of the field pretty much the whole game. I've been wondering when that play was going to be called, when they were going to take a shot on that man-to-man coverage. A great job there by Stone throwing it out there, and Sutherland not being able to get over in time. You know, playing that safety spot, you take him out of the play.
They go quickly, hand off to Wilson up the middle, keeps his feet moving and picks up 5 on first down. A flag comes in on the play, and it's going to be holding against Woodberry Forest.
And that's probably the last thing you wanted after a big play like that. Now you got to move back to 1st and 20. But again, a great job there by Lyndall Stone throwing it out there. We've seen him underthrow a couple of balls already today. A beautiful throw there, leading his wide receiver perfectly in stride.
And he was able to step into it that time, and he delivered a perfect spiral 40 yards in the air.
Exactly. You said it. That was the key. The couple of underthrows that we've seen so far, he had pressure in his face. Lyndall Stone had time. We saw it as a key to the game to protect him. Beautiful job there by that offense.
Let's go downstairs and check in with our Andy Mendoza.
Hey guys, so much has been made so far pregame and in the week leading up to this game about the difference in both teams' offenses. What we see here also is a difference in both teams' defenses. Woodberry Forest plays with no safety deep. Episcopal playing with a safety deep, of course got burned on that long play. We'll see how that plays out moving forward.
1st and 20 now for Stone. After the penalty, he again takes a shot, this time looking for Jana. A lot of battling there. Flag comes in. Jana can't make the catch, but it's going to be pass interference again. Salim Turner Muhammad doesn't like the call. He thinks it should be going against Jana on the offense.
Definitely a little bit of hand fighting going on between both guys, but unfortunately for the DB there, 99% of the time in high school, you're going to get the defensive pass interference over the offensive pass interference. But again, that looked like almost the same identical play as the one they had for the long throw there. Again, another underthrow by Stone, not really generating his weight going forward to get these footballs out there where they need to be.
So the call is pass interference on the defense.
Still first down.
And it'll go from being 1st and 20 to 1st and 5. Khalid Thomas, the lone wide receiver on the near side, as you look at him there, one-on-one with Salim Turner Muhammad. Jana, the motion man. Play action fake, quick pass over the middle of the Curvin, near the sticks. Did he hang on though? There's a pileup. And they will give him the catch short of the first down marker.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that counts as a catch, but again, high school, the officiating's a little bit different. A great job there by Stone getting the football on him early, but again, it looks like he fumbles the football there. I'm not sure he had full possession, but a break there for the Woodberry Forest offense.
2nd and 2 now for the Tigers as Stone looks towards the sideline. The senior from Dallas, Texas, headed to play ball at Virginia next season. He's looking to throw a fade route down near side. Caught, touchdown to Keith Carter. Once again, Carter and Stone hook up, but there's a flag on the play. It's going to be holding against Woodberry Forest as we get a look at the replay. A beautiful throw from Stone to Carter.
Yeah, definitely a hold there on that offensive line. A tough break for Woodberry Forest's offense. And watching Lyndall Stone's tape throughout the course of the season, the tape that he's put on throughout the course of his career, he is probably one of the best red zone fade ball throwers that I have seen in this state. An excellent job. He just knows he has that feel, that touch that you need in the red zone to put it in the perfect spot for your wide receiver. He does it flawlessly.
So after the penalty, touchdown nullified, 2nd and 15 for the Tigers. Jana motions towards the formation. Stone looking his way, fires it on the out route. Jana makes the catch and is taken down at the 19-yard line.
Jana having a big first half so far. The Episcopal defense is trying to play man-to-man on him. Most of the time they have Salim Turner Muhammad on him man-to-man, and he's getting the best of that matchup so far in this first half.
Jonathan Sutherland, the safety that we noted, heading to Penn State, motions over towards Jana's side of the field. The handoff is to Wilson, trying to break it to the outside. Now he cuts back in and pushes forward down to the 16-yard line.
Yeah, that was a really nice job there by the D lineman, the senior Colin Dixon, extending that play, forcing Wilson out, making him come back into the line of scrimmage, which ultimately the Episcopal defense had some great pursuit, stopped him for a short game, but ultimately still a first down.
Dixon was tended to earlier, so nice to see him back in the game with his hand down on the right side of this defensive line. 1st and 10 for Woodberry. Forrest Stone consults his armband as he sends Jana in motion from left to right. Stone rolling to his right, directing traffic. He's going to take off running. Inside the 10, he dives forward towards the sticks. It looks like he's going to be a yard short, but Woodberry Forest will have 2nd and 1 at the 8.
Yeah, Stone not a fast guy, but knows how to use his feet to pick up yards there. That was Luigi Vallon that came in, forced him out of the pocket. We'll see it right here. Feels the pressure early, Vallon coming after him, but again, just using those legs to pick up the yards that he can. He's not a fast guy, but he knows exactly how to use those legs to pick up the max amount of yards when he has to escape the pocket.
2nd and short now. Bilodeau, the motion man, handoff to Wilson inside, has some running room. And it looks like he'll have enough for the first down. 1st and goal for the Tigers.
And spots like this are interesting for me with these spread offenses. You're down at the 5-yard line. The amount of space, the amount of real estate that you have to work with is extremely tight now. I want to see what kind of play calling the Woodberry Forest's offensive coaching staff has for these 1st and goal, tight down in the red zone situations.
They go 3 wide receivers here. Wilson to the right of Stone, who's in shotgun. 5 minutes to play in the opening half. Stone sends Carter in motion, and before the play, whistles blow and flags come flying. No, it's a timeout called by Woodberry Forest.
Timeout, Woodberry.
Their 2nd timeout of the first half. Episcopal has used 1 of their 3.
Former players of Mr. Alexander are requested at halftime to come to the Squash Pavilion patio for a photograph.
So Tigers ahead 7-0 here, Mike, on the fumble recovery in the end zone by Khalid Thomas. Looked to have another touchdown moments ago. That was nullified due to a penalty. As we take a look, the race to number 1, as Woodberry Forest is not participating in the postseason due to final exams. Woodberry beat Benedictine, the number 1 team at the time. Meanwhile, Episcopal, they topped Bishop Ironton, who was number 2.
Definitely an interesting format, with the private schools, the way it works in Virginia. You'd obviously love as a player to get into those playoffs, but an interesting situation for Woodberry Forest not being able to participate in the playoffs because of their final exams.
That's Clint Alexander, the head coach on the left. He coaches from up top on the roof. And we'll see what his play call is from his perch up top. 1st and goal at the 5. The handoff to Wilson. Trying to find some running room. Nothing there. Stacked up short of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about with this tight red zone that you have to deal with as a spread offense. Running the football and pounding it in for 5 yards is not what this offense does. It's not what they're good at. I think you need to spread the football out. Right before that timeout, you actually had one-on-one coverage with Jana and Turner Muhammad. You had the fade ball there if you wanted it. So, again, very interesting to see what these next 2 plays are going to give us.
We mentioned Coach Alexander. This is his final game at Woodberry Forest. He's won 9 titles in 12 seasons. 2nd and 6. Stone fakes the option. He dives for the end zone. He's got it. Touchdown, Woodberry Forest. Lyndall Stone, known for his arm, this time uses his feet. And he gets into the end zone for the second Woodberry Forest score today.
And a beautiful play call, beautiful mix-up. I can't say I even expected them to be running an option with Lyndall Stone. A great job here pressing the edge, doing a little fake, getting that guy to run out. And a great job by Stone having a nose for the end zone, diving in there. Big play for the Woodberry Forest offense.
The extra point attempt is no good. Wide left off the boot of Colton Alexander. So it's 13-0. Woodberry Forest with 4:07 to play in the first half.
Woodberry Forest 13, Episcopal 0.
And a beautiful drive there for Woodberry Forest's offense. We saw a little bit of everything there. We saw the run game, we saw the pass game, we saw the deep throws downfield, and we even saw Lyndall Stone running the football. A textbook offensive drive for Woodberry Forest's offense. If you're Episcopal right now, that coaching staff needs to get together and find some adjustments that they need to make that will come up and hopefully slow down this offense.
If you're Episcopal, Mike, what do you do to combat this prolific offense? They just went 80 yards, and it looked like the only thing that really slowed them down was penalties.
Exactly, and that makes it very difficult if you're a defensive coaching staff. What do? You've tried zone coverage. You've tried man-to-man coverage. I'm not sure what the answer is because this offense is so prolific. They have so many weapons, whether it be running the football, throwing the football, and like we said, we saw Lyndall Stone now starting to run the football himself. So a very difficult spot for Episcopal's defense. I think you need to just kind of come together and figure out what you're best at. What is the best defense that you can put out on the field, the best scheme that you can put out on the field, and hope that it's good enough.
He has 37 touchdowns throwing the ball this season. So like you said, Mike, I don't know anyone was really looking for him to run it there as Alexander has the ball teed up. And again, we'll pooch it towards the near sideline. They'll let it bounce. And again, it'll squirt out of bounds. So the penalty on the kickoff will give Episcopal the ball to start out at their own 35-yard line.
Yeah, risky move there, though, letting that ball bounce. That ball bounced about 5 yards from the line, from the sideline. Very easily could have bounced, kicked right up, and fell straight down. So risky move that worked out for Episcopal on that one.
You almost have to block on the play if you're going to do that to make sure that if it lands and stays inbounds, that no one from Woodberry Forest can recover a de facto onside kick.
Yeah, tough situation. If you're the coaching staff, you'd obviously like him to just to call the fair catch and get that football there. But now for Episcopal's offense, they need to establish something, running the football, get some momentum going.
3 men in the backfield. Aguanobi under center, hands to Jones, running to his left, cuts it back. And he gets just one.
This Woodberry Forest defense is doing a great job at penetrating that line of scrimmage, forcing them to run east to west instead of north and south. And we've seen that a lot in this first half. Them moving east to west, not gaining any yards, and then getting stuffed at the line of scrimmage for short gains. So great job so far by this Woodberry Forest defense.
They'll give Jones 2 on the carry. The junior from Manassas, Virginia, the feature back in this maroon offense. Again, 3 men in the backfield. And again, the handoff to Jones. Has some running room up the middle, pushes forwards towards the first down marker. And it looks like he's going to get it across the 45-yard line.
Yeah, really nice play design there. Going with a little bit of a counter run there instead of the traditional power up the middle offense or run game that we've seen throughout the course of the game. Using the counter here to throw off that defense, having guys pull through, get blocks with momentum going forward, and getting a good first down there.
Episcopal has the size advantage, and they're trying to impose it on this drive. Again, 3 men in the backfield. This time it's play action. Looking to throw, dump off to Sutherland across the 40. Has some running room down to the 30. A foot race to the end zone, and it looks like he's going to win it. Touchdown, Episcopal. Jonathan Sunderland from 55 yards out.
And we talked about it. Find ways to get your playmakers the football. We saw this little rollout out route that they had earlier that they got a sack on. A beautiful job there, not trying to do the out and up. Give Sutherland the football early and let your Penn State recruit, your big-time playmaker, make a play. A great answer there for the Episcopal offense.
A quick strike there for Episcopal. And the extra point up and good. So just like that, it's back to a 1-score game.
Trout.
Yeah, again, just doing a great job with that play action. Earlier we saw an out and up, which took too long. Now just give Sutherland the football in the flats and let your big playmaker go to work there, just using that speed, using that vision to make a play for his offense and make a play for his team. That's the answer that you wanted if you were Episcopal's coaching staff. You could feel the game starting to get a little bit of get away from them a little bit there. A great answer for Episcopal.
And you saw the speed there from Sutherland. As we mentioned, he plays both sides of the ball, and maybe a reason why they aren't kicking it off deep to him.
Yeah, you see now why that they're not kicking deep. You have Sutherland and Jones, two speedy guys in the back there, and that's why we see the little pooch kicks going on. And you don't get to be a Penn State recruit without having a little bit of speed, especially playing the safety position.
So Woodberry Forest will get the football right back. They'll have 3 minutes with which to work here in the first half. As you see the Episcopal fans getting into it here. They've made the trip down from Richmond.
Trout to kick.
The Maroon are either coming down from Alexandria here in Orange, Virginia to face the Tigers. Jana on the return, trying to evade the coverage team who gets down there in a hurry. Unblocked, they make the play at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, and not only did Sutherland just make a big play on offense, he just came down and made the tackle on special teams. You want your playmakers, you know, teams like this, these private schools, you don't have a big roster. You have to have guys playing both ways, and Sutherland is the ideal playmaker for this team, and he's showing today why he is the captain of this Episcopal Maroon team.
So Lyndall Stone back to work. We saw him go 80 yards to pay dirt his last time out. We'll have to go just beyond that this time, and the clock working against him with 2:53 to play. Looking to throw as he steps forward and dumps it off to Carter over the middle. Carter sheds some tacklers and gets it out to the 29-yard line. A flag down on the far sideline right in front of the Episcopal bench.
You would think a flag over there would be a sideline warning. Yeah, it's going to be a sideline warning against Episcopal's coaching staff there. Just a warning in high school for your first time out. In college, a little bit different. As soon as you touch that referee, you get an automatic 15 yards. So they're going to get a sideline warning here. If it happens again, then you see the 15-yard penalty come out.
So after the warning, it's 1st and 10 from the 29. 3 wide receivers stacked together on the top of your screen. Interesting formation here for Woodberry Forest. Stone looking to the near side, however. It's a diving catch by Jana. He makes the grab just short of the 40-yard line. And it looks like that'll be enough to move the chains.
The incredible catch there by Jana. Lyndall Stone threw the football just a little bit early. Jana didn't get a chance to get out of his break, and we'll see it here. Just a timing route a little bit early. Jana a little bit late getting out of his break, and a beautiful catch there for the star wide receiver.
The inside give to Wilson, looking for running room, and has a couple yards up the middle. The tackle on the play made by Oren Ormsby.
And you mentioned it earlier, the interesting formations that they've done throughout the course of this game, especially on that last play. And I think what we're seeing is they're trying to get Jana isolated on Taylor Muhammad, get that one-on-one coverage, and they're doing it in any way that they can.
A delay give this time to Wilson, again up the middle, spinning forward, and has a gain of 5.
Carry by Wilson, tackled by Verlaine.
And the aforementioned defensive back, Salim Turner Muhammad, getting into it a little bit there with Jana on the outside.
Just two guys competing against each other, and you love seeing that in high school. Just two guys grinding it out each and every play.
Everyone on this Episcopal defense within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage here on 3rd and 3. Stone to throw, quick pass to Jana. On the hitch, he has the first down into Episcopal territory, and a flag comes in on the play. And Mike, this game may be starting to get a little chippy.
Exactly, and you're seeing it right now for this Episcopal defense, starting to get a little bit chippy with this Woodberry Forest offense. You know, they're having so much success on offense, and that's where you see guys, especially at the high school level, start to lose it a little bit, start to get a little bit frustrated, especially, you know, for guys like Salim Turner Muhammad that are going up against Jana each and every play, and most of the time throughout the course of this first half, he's kind of getting the best of him. So you're seeing things start to get a little bit chippy, which you kind of like to see in rivalry games.
So it's a personal foul against Episcopal, and that penalty really big here at the end of the first half with just 1 minute and 18 seconds to play. It pushes the ball deeper into Episcopal territory and makes it much easier on Lyndall Stone.
Yeah, that was a big play against Episcopal there, and I'm not sure I fully agree with that. They came in, made a clean tackle. His arm was a little bit high in the face mask area, but I'm not sure if that warranted a personal foul flag on that one.
Once again, stacked at the top of the screen. Bilodeau, the motion man, the tight end. Stone drops back, looking to his right, now goes deep. The pass for Carter. Carter with the jump ball, and it's incomplete. A little bit overthrown there from Lyndall Stone, the first time we've seen him throw it long.
Yeah, and a little bit of a force there, too. I think he forced that football. He wanted that touchdown. He wanted that first touchdown of the day. Carter's having himself a really good day so far, but I think he forced that football a little bit on that one. Actually had Jen on a beautiful post corner route here onto the sideline that he didn't quite see, but I think a little bit of a force there for Lyndall Stone.
2nd and 10, ball on the near hash. Stone will move Wilson from his right to his left. Play action fake. Blitz coming. Firing it again for Carter. Carter can't make the grab. A little low, but a catchable ball. And that's one of those that Coach Alexander will say that's where the maturity of Lyndall Stone is so impressive. Every drop is on him, never on his receivers. And he's got to be a little bit frustrated that that ball was not complete.
Yeah, he definitely could have put that one just a little bit further out in front, but he had some pretty good pressure up the middle, really couldn't set his feet and step into the throw. Those are kind of throws that you'd love to see your wide receivers come down and bail you out a little bit as a quarterback.
A big 3rd and 10 here, although based on what we've seen, likely 4-down territory for the Tigers. 4 wide receivers for Stone, who looks to throw. Pressure comes. He's going to push himself forward, try to get back to the line of scrimmage as he's wrapped up by a host of Episcopal tacklers. Villain again leads the charge.
And just watching Villain on that play, not only he blew through the offensive tackle and then blew through Wilson, the running back. Just a great job there. I mean, we see him here blowing right by the defensive tackle and then pushing Wilson right out of the way, forcing him to step up in the pocket, and then a great job there by the rest of that defensive line and not giving him a lane to run the football.
4th and 12, and Woodberry Forest sends out the punt unit. I think you got to watch for a fake here with 15 seconds to play. And perhaps Episcopal fearful of that as well, as they're going to take their second time out of the half.
Yeah, I think you might have just called it right there. Definitely a little bit fearful if you're Episcopal for a fake here. 15 seconds to go. You don't want anything bad to happen. I think right now if you're Woodberry Forest, you just punt the football away and go into halftime at 13-7 with the lead.
So Episcopal guarantees that they will get the ball back, assuming that Woodberry Forest doesn't somehow convert this 4th and 12. And I think what that does is it kind of encourages you to punt the ball away and not take a shot and give them good field position at the 35 to run a play or two.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the smart move here. Just punt the football away. You got 15 seconds left in the half. Your team's played well so far in this game. Punt the football away. Pin them deep if you can. If not, they get the ball at the 20-yard line and just get out of the half with the lead right now.
Paris Jones back, standing at his 10-yard line. Anything over his head, I would think he would let go. The punter is Warren Scott, gets it away, angling it towards the near sideline. And he's going to have a good punt as it's down just past the 10-yard line. Getting down there to down the football was Will Medic. And so with 6.9 to go, Episcopal will have it at the 11-yard line.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you wanted for Woodberry Forest there. Just pin the ball deep, force them to basically just take a knee here. You don't want to do anything too risky if you're Episcopal here. Just take a knee, go into halftime. Ultimately, watching this game so far, they've really been overplayed offensively. So right now with the score being 13-7, you got to be very happy if you're the Episcopal Maroon. Take a knee here, get into halftime feeling good about what you did.
As you look at Paris Jones in the backfield, hoping he gets a chance to break one here, and a flag comes flying before the snap. Perhaps a delay a game there, Mike?
I'm not sure. There's a little bit of confusion right now, even between the refs, so I'm not exactly sure what the flag was. And it looks like they're waving it off. I'm not sure they knew exactly what it was for either.
A flag thrown by the back judge at the 35-yard line. Once again, just under 7 seconds to play, 6.9 showing on the clock. As you look at a couple of the signs here on Senior Day, as Agunobi takes a knee, and these teams will go to the locker room with Woodberry Forest leading 13-7 on a touchdown on a fumble recovery by Khalid Thomas, and then Lyndall Stone on the option keeper, getting the second touchdown of the day.
Woodberry Forest invites all fans to visit the concession stand on the east
Episcopal
end of
answered with a long touchdown of their own, as
from
Jonathan
sales go to the
Sutherland
University of Virginia
just
Children's
broke it
Hospital.
on a 55-yard catch and run, showing off his speed there. The Penn State commit. And that's where we stand right now, Mike. It's 13-7 at the half.
Yeah, and I think both teams showed some good things on offense and defense throughout the course of that half. Episcopal, I think they need to come together as an offensive unit, figure out what they want to do a little bit here. I don't think just pounding the football inside is gonna get you the win. I think, like we saw there at the end, get the football to your playmakers, get Sutherland the football in space, and let him do his thing.
Well, the guy who really stood out was Villain to me, and that's really their only chance, is to continue to get pressure on Lyndall Stone, who looked very good in the first half. Didn't make every throw, but his ability to just show that calm poise and move the ball down the field really impressed me.
And you said it right there, his calm poise in the pocket. He's got a little bit of pressure on him. I think in that second quarter we saw the Episcopal defense start to get more and more pressure on him, but he's a senior quarterback. He's been through this before. He's having an unbelievable season, and this is why he's going to UVA. Not only because he can throw the football down the field and he has all of the tools, but he has that calm demeanor in the pocket when things are breaking down around him to still deliver the football accurately.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break here on DMV Stream. You're watching Tigers football, and they're leading 13-7 at the break.
Let's see this person throw, and then we're going back to shot put. All right, we're here at Woodberry Forest today for a track invitational. There's more than 20 teams coming out.
Welcome back to Woodberry Forest. 13-7, the Tigers lead at the half. And Andy Mendoza has Coach Clint Alexander.
Hey, standing here with Coach of Woodberry Forest, Clint Alexander. Coach, what happened there on that 55-yard touchdown pass to Sutherland?
Great player, just slipped out of the backfield. They're running the ball so well. Linebacker bit on the run and gave up the pass.
What adjustments do you guys need to make in the second half?
Just settle down, do your job. I mean, we got a guy assigned to him. We just, let him slip away from us. We're doing a great job stopping the run. They're having a heck of a time stopping our passing game. We don't get a holding. We're up by another score.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Andy. As we take a look at some first half highlights, once again, the score 13-7, Woodberry Forest in front of this rivalry game. As we take a look back, a big sack here as Seth Aguinobi went down. I believe that was a fourth down play, a big one early on.
Yeah, and that was the first drive of the game there. Great job there by the Woodberry Forest defense, forcing the long fourth down and then getting that sack, giving their offense great field position, which led to this touchdown here.
So the tight end, John Curvin, got the carry, was pushing forward with his big frame, but then lost the football. There for the fumble recovery, and the first touchdown of the game was Khalid Thomas, who got Woodberry Forest on the board first.
Yeah, and in a tough break for Episcopal, but a great job of pursuit there by the Woodberry Forest offense.
We know Lyndall Stone has a good arm. It was as good as advertised on this big bomb to Carter down the sideline.
Yeah, and I would expect to see a little bit more of this in the second half. That one-on-one coverage that you're seeing a lot of, look for them to utilize that with Lyndall Stone throwing the football down the field in the second half.
And then he gave a great pump fake there, the fake pitch option keeper. Stone gets in with his legs.
Yeah, we've seen him use his legs a couple of times. A great play call there. Can't say I was expecting an option play at all. A great job there by Lyndall Stone with a little pump fake, gets the defender out there, sticks his foot in the ground, and finds the end zone.
So Woodberry Forest with the first two scores. They were up 13-0. The answer here from Jonathan Sutherland. A 55-yard catch and run, beating everyone to the pylon.
And this is exactly what you wanted to see for Episcopal's coaching staff. You wanted to see the offense come out and answer. Get the football to your playmakers. We said it all first half. Find Jonathan Sutherland. Find Paris Jones. Get them the football. Let them have the football in space and make plays.
All right, so we're going to take another break here on DMV Stream. You're watching Tigers football as they lead Episcopal 13-7 at the half.
At 500 is yeah, absolutely. You got to be fundamentally sound when this defense gets out there. They just got to do it. You're obviously a guy, a ball hawk back to.
It was a major point emphasis for us. And also, we need to be a better third down situation.
Someone spread. And there's finally a handoff.
That's a heck of a job right there. He froze that linebacker in the hole with a subtle dent. Both teams in this ball game lean on both of their tailbacks. It hasn't really been a perimeter game. And you see right here on a replay, making a move right there in the hole, getting outside, beating the in-man on line of scrimmage for the touchdown.
A great determination there. I thought he was going to be forced out just short, but stretched that ball across.
Today, we're at McDonough Arena on the campus of Georgetown University in Washington, D.C., where we're tasked with broadcasting the basketball team's Midnight Madness event live to our client's Facebook page at the Washington Post. Now, considering that this venue is not truck-friendly, we've instead rolled out our fly pack kit for this event. Our flyback allows us to produce a multi-camera stream live to the web by marrying together a series of state-of-the-art products and production tools for one easy setup. Now, we've built out our kit and run 4 independent camera angles back to our NewTek TriCaster. Our director is then producing a live show for the viewers at home. We've also tapped into the in-house network, the internet, which allows our director to pull in live graphics from an independent graphics operator who's working on his own system and feeding graphics across that network. Now, even though you can stream directly out of TriCaster, we've opted instead to pull an independent feed directly into an independent encoder called the Teradek VidiU. This great product simply allows you to take an HDMI feed and you can encode that broadcast separately directly to the client's platform, which today is the Washington Post Facebook page. We've run our own audio back from our staging area where our talent is telling the story for the viewers at home. We've also pulled an audio feed from the in-house PA so we can switch over to the in-house DJ whenever we want to send that audio to our viewers at home. All right, for more great videos like these and to learn more about how to broadcast your event, go to DMVSTREAM.com.
Here at DeMatha Catholic High School, Bob Trossett alongside my buddy Marcus Helton of DMV Elite. We are super fired up to be here. College basketball season is right around the corner, and 3 young men really have a chance to shine today.
Yeah, days like this are always fun, getting to see these guys move on to the next level, and they're joining a very, very long list of DeMatha guys who have moved on to play at the college level and beyond.
And we chatted about that before. There's 17 DeMatha grads who went on and currently or used to play in the NBA. What an incredible stat. You know, you think about Oak Hill, you think about DeMatha, they're right in line. What does this school mean to you?
It's fun. I mean, everyone, when they think of this area, when they think of basketball, DeMatha is one of the names that always comes to mind immediately. And, you know, for good reason. There are 17 guys in the NBA. They're going to have maybe another one joining them very, very shortly. Markel Fultz, who was here last year, is at Washington now. I mean, it's success. When people think of DeMatha, I think it's success.
A couple times. And let's get right into these guys. Let's start off with DJ Harvey. He's headed to the University of Notre Dame. He joins a long cast of guys formerly who played there at Notre Dame. What do you expect from him going into this year?
DJ's a guy who's highly touted coming in, and he's lived up to that. I mean, he was the first freshman to start here since Adrian Dantley in 1969, 1970, so it's been a long, long time. And, you know, there haven't been a large number of freshmen who've been able to come to this program and play right away.
Welcome back to Woodberry. Forced the Tigers out in front, 13-7 over Episcopal at the half. As we welcome you inside our broadcast booth alongside Mike Niebrick, I'm Matt Present. The Tigers seem to dominate for most of the first half, but they're only up by one score now, Mike. And was there a shift in momentum towards the end of the half with that Sutherland touchdown?
I think there was, and I think in that second quarter you slowly start to feel Woodberry Forest's offense start to impose themselves. They were really doing whatever they wanted to do on offense, running the football, throwing the football down the field vertically, Lyndall Stone running the football. I mean, you could really feel the shift in momentum that Woodberry Forest was gaining, and then Sutherland with the big play there, the 55-yard score, really kind of shut down that momentum that Woodberry Forest had going for them, and that's why you see a 13-7 game. So look for an extremely competitive second half here.
As we now look at the recruiting hotbed in this area, a lot of recruits from this Woodberry Forest team. Of course, we've talked at length about Lyndall Stone, the all-time passing leader here at Woodberry. He, as well as John Curvin and Terrell Jana, are headed off to Virginia. Abiola Olanian is headed off to Connecticut, and Joe Stevenson is headed to West Point for Army.
Yeah, this is a school that prides themselves. They have a rich tradition of getting kids to D1 schools, getting kids to big-time schools. But like you kind of mentioned earlier in the broadcast, these are high academic schools. For UVA, one of the top academic schools in Virginia, Connecticut, a top 20 public school in the country, and then, of course, West Point being what it is. You know, they pride themselves in getting kids to college and play college football, but they want them to go to good academic schools as well.
As you look at Lyndall Stone right there, he's up for the Jefferson Scholarship, and these kids, they really put in the work in the classroom. They went to class this morning, Mike, before this game here today. They have study hall on Sundays as well. So it's a really rigorous academic program. As we look at the IAC standings, Episcopal standing up top the league there, an undefeated regular season, perfect in conference play, and they beat Georgetown Prep last week for the conference title.
Yeah, and that was a big game for Episcopal. That Georgetown Prep game, that's always a big one. Georgetown Prep is always right there with them in that conference title game or conversation. And there you see them sitting at 8-0, 5-0 in the conference. They've had an extremely impressive season so far and looking to finish out this year with a 9-0 record with a big win today.
Georgetown Prep actually beat Episcopal a year ago to force a regular season tie as we now switch over and look at the VISAA Prep standings with Woodberry atop at 8-1, perfect in conference play.
Yeah, perfect in conference play, and that one blemish on their record coming to Pinecrest, a school from North Carolina. So you talk about a good loss per se. That is a good loss. That Pinecrest team is one of the winningest teams in North Carolina high school football history. So, a good loss for Woodbury Forest. Obviously, they would have loved to go undefeated this year, but an 8-1 record looking to go 9-1 to finish the season would be huge for this senior class.
All right, now let's talk about Luigi Villain. He's headed to Michigan, but he was not short of offers, Mike.
Yeah, we've been talking about him the entire first half, and he was not short of offers. Basically, all the big schools you could think of, Alabama, the Florida Gators, Georgia, Ohio State, your two of your top 5 teams there. Actually, 3 of your top 5 with Michigan actually having committed there. This kid is a big-time player. I think he's going to be moved into that outside linebacker role moving forward in college. I just don't think he has the size to play defensive end, but he has the speed. He has the athleticism. He uses his hands so well, and he's going to be a big part of that Jim Harbaugh defense up in Ann Arbor.
Look at Villain here at the bottom of your screen, number 10 in white, just splitting the defenders, getting pressure on Stone.
Yeah, he's been doing it all day, putting pressure on Stone, whether it be getting his hands up, blocking down different throws, getting in there and putting pressure on him. I mean, we see right here just the technique, that beautiful swim move that we saw him do. He's unbelievable using his hands against offensive linemen, and I believe we'll have another clip here. Yeah, we'll watch him here. Now using his hands, getting extended and throwing that offensive lineman down, getting the pressure and getting in there and causing an interception. He is fantastic at using his hands and playing with speed. Again, here we see a pass rush, using that speed now just to get around that offensive tackle. He is an impressive player, and like we said, Coach Harbaugh is going to be extremely happy to get him up to Ann Arbor as soon as he can.
You're looking at another impressive player there in Lyndall Stone. Has the go-ahead touchdown as it stands right now, 13-7, as we get you set for the second half, just moments away. And now we take a look at some Episcopal stats. Paris Jones really leading the way for them this season. And as much as Woodbury relies on Lyndall Stone in the passing game, for Episcopal, it's Paris Jones and the running game.
Yeah, Paris Jones needs to, I think, get himself going a little bit here, whether it be pounding it up the middle, getting outside, letting him use his speed to get yards. But Paris Jones is the heart and soul of this running attack for Episcopal, and they need to get him going here in the second half.
And now we're going to look at John Curvin, number 88. He's one of those guys who's committed to playing college. He's headed to UVA, got his hand taped up at halftime, so we'll keep an eye on him. Of course, he had the fumble that resulted in the first touchdown, so net positive on that play.
Yeah, net positive, definitely a break for Woodbury Forest there. That was the first drive of the game that they had, getting in the end zone. And then like we mentioned earlier, a little bit of a tricky play call. Not a guy who sees the football all that often, not, really prone to carrying the football, and just gets stripped away at the goal line there, but a great job of pursuit by that offense to get on top of that football and get that first score.
Curvin, 6'5", 252 from Raleigh, North Carolina, as we look at Clint Alexander, once again, his final game here at Woodbury Forest. He's their 9th coach in 118 years of football here. And he said of his final game coaching here against Episcopal that it's not about him, that, quote, I'm thinking about the players. I've had 12 chances at this game. They only get 1.
And you talk about a selfless coach that you absolutely would die for as a player. Coach Alexander has done a fantastic job in all of his seasons here. We wish him the best moving forward. But I think the most impressive part about what he's done at this school is he doesn't just groom players into be good football players. He grooms them to be men moving forward, to be fully prepared, leaving high school, transitioning into college, and then, of course, taking those lessons that they've learned from him and translating them into the real world.
He's grown the football program from just 40 players when he started to a roster of 70 this year, and has sent guys like Ed Reynolds, CJ Perazzi, Kendall Gaskins, and others to the NFL. We're just about ready to get the second half underway. Woodberry Forest will get the ball first. As you get one more look at the Tigers' all-time passing leader, Lyndell Stone, playing his final game here at Woodberry Forest.
Yeah, this is a particularly important first drive for Episcopal. I don't think you can allow this Woodberry Forest offense to get momentum going early on in this half. I think you need to come out right now if you're Episcopal. You made some defensive adjustments at halftime. Come out here, force a quick 3-and-out. Maybe force, if you can, force a 3-and-out, but definitely force a punt and get your offense back on the field.
And I want to go back to Luigi Villain real quick, Mike, while we have a second. And I noted that in the first half he switched where he was lining up a lot, sometimes on the left side of the line, sometimes on the right side of the line. Can you explain why that is and why it was so effective?
Well, that's actually something I've been trying to figure out throughout the course of the game. I couldn't tell if maybe it was because they wanted him to the wide side of the field every time, and then just when I thought that theory was going to hold up, they put him to the short side of the field. So I'm not exactly sure. I think it's one of those things that as a defensive coordinator, he might be keying one or two different guys, whether it be the strength of the formation. I'm not exactly sure, but you want Luigi Villain to have the best chance of success. And as a defensive coordinator, you're going to put him anywhere on the field to get him that chance.
Well, we will certainly keep an eye on him as this game moves along. As you mentioned, 6'4", 240. And a stature to play linebacker at the next level as the kickoff is away. And Jana will make the catch just inside the 10-yard line and run it up the gut. He breaks a tackle to the near side across the 30. Plenty of running room in front. Down the sideline, across midfield to the 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Woodberry Forest. They return the opening kickoff of the second half. 90 yards for the score.
Well, that's the start that you wanted for Woodberry Forest. A great job there by the special teams unit and a great job by Jana breaking a tackle and then using that speed to get down the sideline. I mentioned it earlier. I wasn't sure why they kicked to him on a punt, and I figured they would stop kicking to him overall, but a great job by Jana there breaking through that tackle, that initial tackle. I believe that was number 4, Litchfield Adjavon from Episcopal, that he just lowered his shoulder and broke right through. And then once he had space, you knew he was going to use that speed to take it all the way.
There's an Episcopal player down at the opposite 20-yard line. When we get a number, we will relay that to you. And Mike thinks it is Litchfield Adjavon who was in on that missed tackle. A hard collision between him and Jana just bounced right off of him. He's being tended to, as I mentioned, on the 20-yard line to our right. Adjavon, a sophomore, plays running back and defensive back. 6 foot, 180 from Baltimore. Now let's go down to the sideline and Andy Mendoza.
Hey guys, you mentioned the playmaking abilities of Terrell Jana. Of course, he is one of 3 Tigers headed to Charlottesville next year to play for UVA, along with Lyndell Stone and tight end John Curvin. Interesting note about Terrell Jana, he's actually going to UVA to play DB. He'll be a defensive back for Coach Mendenhall at UVA. You see the ball skills he has. You see the ability he has with the ball in his hands. You saw it there on the touchdown. He'll be an interesting player for Bronco Mendenhall at UVA next year. Back to you.
So Adjavon helped off the field under his own power, and now Colton Alexander on for the point after. It's on its way, and it is good, and it's a 20-7 Tigers lead just one play into the second half.
Yeah, and you couldn't have asked for a better start if you're Woodberry Forest, and you couldn't have asked for a worse start there if you were Episcopal. You wanted to come out and get a quick stop, get your offense back on the field. Instead, now you find yourself down 20-7. Not a place that Episcopal wants to be in with an offense like this, so heavy running the football. You don't want to get down by too much, or you're going to have trouble coming back.
And it's interesting, a lot of times on kickoff returns, you look at the guys on coverage and say some guy lost his gap or whatnot. In this case, it did not happen. Adjavon was there, and I don't know if his injury was a component of that play or exactly what happened, but Jana just bounced right off of him, and from there his speed took over.
Yeah, and you say usually you see different guys losing their lanes, and that's what happens. Somebody loses their lane, loses contain, and that's where you see the big play happen. But everybody had their lanes. Everybody had they had the right lineup that they wanted. Adjavon had Jana lined up, but ultimately Jana had that speed, that momentum moving forward, lowered his shoulder and just bounced right off, and then used that speed to break past everybody else.
Alexander now will squib it on the ground this time after a couple kicks have gone out of bounds. This one bounces in and out of the hands of Shedler Furvis, but he falls on it. And Woodberry Forest will Episcopal will take over at the 26-yard line.
I like the change up there. Instead of pooch kicking it to the sideline, we've already seen 2 kicks go out of bounds there. Just squib kick it up the middle. It ultimately has the same effect. Gets you a little bit down further deep, but we're seeing it right now. Jana just bouncing off that tackle. Once he got to the edge, you knew he had the speed to take it all the way, and that was a great individual effort by Jana, but a great job by that special teams unit at holding their blocks when they needed to.
So Episcopal went run heavy in the first half, now down by 2 scores. We'll see if we see more of the passing game as Aguanobi comes out in shotgun. He is back to throw. Pressure comes. Aguanobi spun down to the turf. Robbie Grass in there with the sack.
Yeah, great job by the Woodberry Forest defensive line. We've seen it for most of the day. Them getting pressure, breaking through that offensive line, getting pressure on Aguanobi, whether it be in the run game or the pass game. But a great job here by Robbie Grass, keeping contained as Aguanobi tried to escape out. He was right there ready to meet him. Great job there by that Woodberry Forest defensive line.
Looks like a miscommunication there on the right side of the offensive line as Grass initially was unblocked. And now Episcopal backed up into 2nd and 23. A delay give to Jones. Up the middle, has some running room, gets it out short of the 20-yard line. But a little breathing room now on 3rd down.
Yeah, but I think that first play is an interesting play call for me because you're only down 20-7. You're only down 2 scores. I think they got away from who they are in that first down play. I think it was a little bit of a panic set-in moment, and now you're behind the sticks. Now it's 3rd and 15. This is not a spot that this offense will be able to overcome most times.
We have yet to see the ball thrown to Sergio Portabanco. He's at the bottom of the screen right here. 4 wide receivers for Aguanobi. Back to pass. Grass coming again from the side. Aguanobi steps up, and he is dragged down for the sack. A host of tacklers converge. Billy Psalms in there amongst them. And it's going to be 4th and very long for Episcopal.
Yeah, and the drop-back pass game is unfortunately just not what this Episcopal team does. Aguanobi is a decent thrower with the football, but ultimately he has great time here. He had some guys open downfield, but he's not very comfortable in that pocket. That was actually a beautifully made pocket by that offensive line. He just got a little bit of happy feet there and tried to run out a little too soon.
Woodberry Forest had 12 men on the field. They get the last man off just in time. And now the punt team out. It's a very short punt. Very, very short. Around the line of scrimmage, they're going to let it bounce. And Episcopal will down it at the 22-yard line. Spectacular field position here for Woodberry Forest.
Yeah, and that was Ricky Mizan out there punting the football. Not their usual punter.
No, he is. We saw him boot a great one earlier.
We did see him. I guess so. I'm not sure what happened on that one, to be honest. I think it was a little bit of a pressure kick. Faced it, deep in his own end zone there, and a big miss opportunity for Episcopal there to try and flip the field again. And now you got Woodbury Forest's offense out there with 20 at the 25-yard line, looking to go up now by 3 scores and really put Episcopal in a bad position.
We saw him punt it from his own 20 to the opposing 20 earlier. This time he gets just about 10 yards on the punt, straight up in the air. And Lyndall Stone in the offense out to work. Stone under center for the first time today. I formation behind him. Play action fake. Stone to throw, rolling to his right. He'll dump it off, and it's Bilodeau. And he gets 5 yards, dragged down right around the 20-yard line as he's serenaded by the crowd.
Yeah, interesting to see Lyndall Stone under center there. I think that was a designed play-action pass the whole way. They were never going to run the football there from under center. This is a shotgun team first and foremost. They get 5 yards out of the play, though, just doing a little bit of a different wrinkle to get the football out on the edge to their playmakers.
Stone now will back up into his more traditional shotgun. Has a motion man, and it's a pitch. This is Thomas on the end around. Thomas, not a lot of room, trying to cut back, but he's taken down. Sutherland up from the safety position to make the tackle.
Yeah, and a nice job there by Sutherland getting in, coming up, and making that tackle, but a really nice job by the junior DB, Shedler Furvis, coming up and forcing the play to extend out wide, which allowed Sutherland to come down and make a nice tackle.
Furvis and Sutherland, 2 guys who play both sides of the ball, also wide receivers. And it looks like Stone's going to come out and talk to each of his players individually. His brother also in the game. That's Parker Stone, number 10 on the far side. 3rd and 9. Shotgun snap, Stone looks to throw. He has time and fires it to Jenna. It's underthrown. Jenna nearly has the touchdown on the tip, but he can't hang on.
Stone's pass intended for
Yeah, they caught a break on that one. I think Stone rushed the throw a little bit, had a little bit of pressure in his face, but had the ability to step up. Maybe not step up, but at least step into the throw and deliver the ball down the field. They had Jenna there. You see it here, a little bit of pressure, but he's fading backwards on that throw. Very difficult to get enough momentum on the throw and enough power on that throw, and a big break there. And that was actually, we saw Litchfield Adjavon, who was hurt on that kickoff, actually making a really nice play there.
Stone to throw on 4th down, has Carter wide open, and he can't fit it in. A little bit of a late delivery there, Mike.
Yeah, late delivery and a dangerous throw. There was a safety. Sutherland was in the middle of the field there. Throwing a post with a middle of the field safety is extremely dangerous, not only for the ability for Sutherland to come over and make a play on the football, but you're also setting your wide receiver up for a big hit. So dangerous throw there and a very interesting drive for that Woodbury Forest offense, and a great stop there for Episcopal's defense.
So Woodbury started at the 20-yard line. They started in opposing territory with nearly in the red zone and are unable to move the ball. A big play there by Episcopal to get it back as Jones is on the carry up the middle, has some running room, and has a gain of 8.
Yeah, Woodbury Forest had the ability there to really put the pressure on Episcopal. Great job there by the defense coming out, getting a big stop. Now you got to get this offense moving a little bit. Establish the run game again. You still have plenty of time, 7 minutes here to go in the 3rd quarter. Get Parrish Jones the football, get Sutherland the football, run the football. It's what you do on offense well. Keep doing it here in the 2nd half, and eventually one of these things are going to pop.
Once again, a heavy backfield for Episcopal here on 2nd and 2. A bobbled snap picked up by Aguanobi, trying to push forward. And he's pretty close to the marker. Flags come flying from the secondary.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a hands to the face penalty on Corey Smith.
Yeah, Grant Neagley lost his helmet, the senior offensive lineman from Houston, Texas. As you get a look at Coach Clint Alexander, he was upstairs in the 1st half, down on the field here for half number 2.
Yeah, interesting. I honestly have never seen a head coach from the booth. Usually you see coordinators up there, but he's definitely going to be on the sideline for the 2nd half here, and maybe just a way to kind of get a little bit more engaged with the guys throughout this 2nd half.
Referees talking this one over as we get a look at the replay. the second time we've seen Aguanobi have some trouble handling the snap.
Yeah, and it's weird to see because, you know, they do a lot of under center stuff. So I'm not sure if it's the center not putting it in the right spot, if it's Aguanobi getting a little anxious and pulling out early. I'm not sure what the issue is, but they definitely need to get that fixed because that under center run game is something that they do a lot of.
Personal foul on Episcopal.
So the call will be a personal foul against Episcopal. It'll back them up.
15-yard penalty, loss it down.
And that'll bring up 3rd and long.
To be honest with you, partner, I have no idea what just happened with that penalty. It was a clear hands to the face there by the Woodberry Forest defender. I'm not sure how that play got flipped against Episcopal, and a tough break for them now, setting up a 3rd and looks like about 15, 16 yards here. So I couldn't tell you exactly what just happened.
The only thing I can think of is it was a retaliation call. Tough to see on the replay as it's 3rd and 16 and stumbling to the ground on play action. Aguanobi, touchdown for the sack.
Yeah, the last 2 plays, very unfortunate for Episcopal there. They had a little bit momentum. They had some momentum on that first down play, a really nice run play by Jones. And then you have that second down, loss of downs, 15-yard penalty. And now here, just Aguanobi losing his feet there. Actually had Sutherland in the flat, ready for the ball, but just losing his footing there as he was rounding that turn.
So it's 4th and 27. Meisen, who got off a terrible punt a couple moments ago, gets off a much better one this time towards the far side of the field. It'll bounce at the 35, skip forward, take an Episcopal hop, and it's down at the 41-yard line. And, Mike, let's go back to the keys to the game for Episcopal. And a lot of what you talked about was how they respond to adversity. They haven't faced much this season. They're down by 2 scores with 5:57 to play here in the 3rd quarter. And they've had some uncharacteristic mistakes, a bad punt, a couple fumbled snaps, and then you have a quarterback who loses his shoe on play action.
Yeah, and again, like you just said, one of the very first key to this game for them was fight through the adversity. They have not been truly tested except for maybe one game this year. We knew that they were going to be tested today, and I don't think that they've handled the adversity the way that they need to in order to win this football game.
Woodberry Forest starts at the 41. Stone, a quick out to Carter. It's caught. He tries to make a man miss, but a nice tackle there. It's made by Ben Chomby.
And Carter's played an extremely good game today, really having a nice job catching the football, getting yards after the catch, and giving Jaina a little bit of an opportunity to not be the focal point of the offense.
I think the other thing Carter's done well, Mike, is create separation.
He's done a great job with it, especially on this man-to-man coverage. A lot of quick routes, quick action routes, and he's done a great job at creating separation and allowing Stone a good window to throw to.
4 wideouts for Stone this time, who's rolling to his right. Flag comes flying, and the pass is incomplete. It was intended for Bilodeau on the far sideline, out of his reach.
And it looks like we're going to have a hold here.
Stone's pass is incomplete. Flag on the play.
A lot more penalties in the second half so far than we had basically that entire first half with only about 7 minutes played.
Penalty on Woodberry Forest is for holding.
So it's a holding against Woodberry Forest. It'll move the ball back into their own territory as it's spotted at their own 48.
Yeah, long way to go now on second down, about 2nd and 22-ish. Long way to go, even for an explosive offense like this. 2nd and 22 is not where you want to be.
Stone consults his armband. Offensive lineman pointing out protection. The motion man is Carter. Stone to throw. Looking down the near sideline, now will bail out into the flat. He has his running back Wilson, and Wilson's going to get close to the first down marker.
Stone's pass complete to number 2, Jameel.
Or rather, the initial line of scrimmage at the 41-yard line.
And that was a beautiful job there by Stone on this play. He wanted the out route to the field. His wide receiver couldn't create separation. He knew he had Wilson as the check down route to the boundary side. Faded back, went through his progression. A beautiful job there by Stone.
So that brings up 3rd and 10. Ball on the far hash, 3 receivers to the near side. Play action for Stone. Stone across the middle, and Carter drops it. Carter was crossing right at the sticks, and he took his eye off the football.
Yeah, it looks like he just took his eye off the football. And coming across the middle there in that teeth of the defense is never an easy thing for a wide receiver to do. It looked like he turned his head up the field, looking to see if anybody was going to be there to hit him just a little bit too early.
So Warren Scott and the punt team out there on 4th and 10. Paris Jones standing back at his 10-yard line. And a flag comes flying in the secondary, perhaps a delay of game. And Coach Clint Alexander on the near sideline, visibly displeased with his team.
Penalty on Woodberry Forest, delay of game.
Yeah, you never want to see a delay of game penalty on special teams play. I mean, unless you have a fake going on, this is a very simple play. Go out there, make sure everybody's lined up, and snap the football.
Jones is deep.
He has a reason to be upset if he doesn't want it, but in this situation, it gives you a little more room to punt it away, so not the worst situation for it. It is a short punt, however, as it touches down just inside the 30 and bounds forward just inside the 20 where it's touched down, and Episcopal will take over inside their 20-yard line.
93, Warren Scott. Down by number 40, Lee.
Very important here for Episcopal's offense to establish the run game. Throwing the football all around the yard is not what they do on offense. If they want to make a comeback in this game, they're only down 2 scores. They need to remember that. They're only down 2 scores. They got 1 score on a 55-yard touchdown pass, so they have the ability to score quickly with the playmakers that they have, but they cannot force the issue.
Shotgun for Episcopal. Aguanobi hands off to Jones, looking for running room. He's cut off and sealed and tackled down by Jake Cooper.
Tackled by Cooper, Stevenson, and Matthews.
Jake Cooper, a senior from Vienna, Virginia, in there to make the stop, and a really nice job by Woodberry Forest not letting Jones get to the edge.
Yeah, they've done a really nice job all day of forcing the play east and west, and they're not allowing Paris Jones to stick his foot in the ground and get north and south, which is what he does so well. He's so fast, so quick in there that when he's forced to stretch the ball from sideline to sideline, now the defense has an opportunity to rally and make a tackle, which we've seen all day.
A late flag came in. It was declined, so it'll be 2nd and 10 for Episcopal. Ticking down to 4 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. Aguanobi on the keeper, straight up the middle. And he's stopped after a gain of 2.
By Aguanobi.
And again, we see that Woodberry Forest defensive line getting in there, causing penetration early, which forces the runners to make a cut in the backfield. That slows them down, allows their linebackers to come up and make plays. That's why we're seeing these runs only go for 3 or 4 yards at the most, because they're having to move around so much in that backfield before they can stick their foot in the ground and get north and south.
This defensive line of Woodberry Forest doing a great job all day long, limiting the running game. And Episcopal not a potent passing attack. Sutherland, the motion man, 3rd and 6. And a false start upcoming against Episcopal. It looks like Tola Banjoko, the guilty party.
Penalty on Episcopal, false start.
And Matt, we talked about it, a little bit ago, fight through the adversity. I don't think this offense has done a very nice job at fighting through the adversity. They're kind of getting down on themselves, making a lot of silly mistakes. I think that the Episcopal defense in this second half has done a really nice job at fighting through the adversity that their offense has kind of created for them. But this offense needs to figure something out. They need to fight their way back, stick their foot in the ground, and get some positive things going.
3rd and 12 for Aguanobi. Pressure coming again. He evades it, rolling to the near side, taking off, running, evades another rusher and tries to throw it out of bounds. He's hit. The ball comes free, but it's out of bounds right around the 15-yard line. The referees are going to rule it a fumble. So the ball will be marked at the 15-yard line.
And that was Corey Smith coming in and laying the boom on Aguanobi. the great job again by the defensive line, forcing him out. Probably should have thrown the ball away a little bit sooner, and Corey Smith coming in and cleaning him up. Great job there by the Woodberry defense, holding them, forcing another punt, and getting their offense another good field position.
A good punt away by Meisen. Jana with the catch over the shoulder, and he's tackled immediately there by Furvis. So Woodberry Forest, however, will get good field position at the 40-yard line as we go down to the field and check in with Andy Mendoza.
Hey guys, so much made pregame about the Episcopal High three-headed rushing attack. So far, this game has been absolutely dominated by the Woodberry Forest defensive line. You've seen multiple sacks, multiple quarterback hurries. Episcopal can't really do much running the ball. Their one score came off of the long touchdown pass. So we'll see what Episcopal does to loosen up that Woodberry Forest defensive line.
Thanks, Andy. And yeah, this Woodberry Forest defense really making their mark in the second half. It was Lyndall Stone in the offense that was highly touted, but their defense doing its part as well.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the keys to the game for Episcopal, fight through adversity. How about the keys to the game for Woodberry Forest? Stop the run. They've done an excellent job doing that all day.
Stone to throw, and he's intercepted. Picked off by Salim Turner Mohammed. Flags down on the play. Mohammed makes the pick at the 43-yard line of Episcopal.
And I don't think this one's going to stand. That looked like John Pupil, the DB, getting a little too handsy with the wide receiver there. I think this is going to be a pass interference on Episcopal.
A bad throw there by Stone.
And we have not seen Stone at his best in this second half. We've seen a couple of forced throws, a couple of overthrown balls. I think Episcopal, like I mentioned a little bit ago, I think their defense has done an excellent job here in the second half at forcing the issue, fighting through that adversity, and really doing a nice job at holding Woodberry Forest to really nothing in this second half so far.
Well, Mike, you're right on that call. Pass interference on Episcopal. And a big swing there, as instead of an interception going the other way, Episcopal will, or Woodberry Forest rather, will move into Episcopal territory with a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, and again, that was John Pupil, just a little bit too handsy, didn't get his head turned around to play the football there. Tough break for Episcopal's defense.
Wilson to the left of Stone in the backfield, 3 wideouts, and Stone will keep. On the option, running to his left, flag comes flying as Stone's driven out of bounds, and now more flags come flying. Late hit, the second call for sure.
And it looks like the first call is probably going to be a hold, going to be offsetting penalties. But again, we've seen so many flags here in this second half. We probably saw 2 or 3 in that first half. Things are getting a little bit chippy. People are starting to kind of lose their cool a little bit, and now you're seeing the flags start to get thrown.
So we get a look at the replay, and awfully tough to even call a late hit there. The hit was started when he was still inbounds. But to your point, Mike, about the chippiness and this rivalry, in talking with Coach Clint Alexander in the midweek, he was saying, trying to give some perspective to the history of this rivalry. As we mentioned, the longest rivalry in the South dating back over 100 years. The kids who used to play in this rivalry back in the day, very friendly. They'd go out to eat afterwards. They'd hang out before and after the game. Now, these schools separated a little bit more, and sometimes these games get a little chippy like we're seeing here.
Yeah, and I don't think you get a true college or high school or really rivalry in general without a little bit of chippiness. I don't think you can have a true, long-standing rivalry if everybody's friends at the end of the day. I think you get the best rivalries, and you get rivalries that last a long time. Like you mentioned, 100-plus years going for this rivalry. You get rivalries like that by a little bit of chippiness. 2 schools that really just don't like each other and that are playing as hard as they can to get those bragging rights for the full year.
On Episcopal.
So it's holding on Woodberry Forest and a late hit after the play on Episcopal. And they're going to mark the ball at the 39-yard line of Episcopal.
Both the 10-yard and the 15-yard penalties are applied.
So because the late hit came after the play, both penalties are applied. And it's a net 5-yard gain for Woodberry Forest, who operates in 1st and 5. Khalid Thomas one-on-one with Turner Muhammad at the bottom of the screen. It's Bilodeau out in the flat, makes the catch, and is tackled forward for a gain of 6.
Man, a really nice tackle there by John Pupil. Had a little bit of a little handsy penalty earlier that caused the turnover to get taken away, but really nice job there, extending the play and then coming up and making a sure tackle.
Second and 4, under 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Woodberry forced driving, up 20-7. Stone takes, looking to throw, pressure comes, and he gets it out quickly to the far side. Catch is made by Carter right at the first down marker. And they are going to give Woodberry the first down, move the chains.
And you mentioned how good of a job Carter's done all day of creating space. We see it right here, just a quick throw, but does a great job creating that little bit of room that he needed for Stone to fit that football in there, and also getting past the stick and getting exactly what he needed for that first down.
He knew exactly where he had to get, sat down right at the first down marker, moved the chains for the offense. Stone back to pass again, has time, looking down the near side, has Jenna. The catch is made by Jenna. No, he drops it in and out of the hands. Sutherland was coming over from the safety position, and Jenna maybe heard footsteps, just could not hang on.
Yeah, that ball was in the air for a long time. It felt like Sutherland had a beat on him. He was going to come over, and maybe, like you said, felt a little bit of footsteps from Sutherland coming over to make a play, but definitely a ball that Jana knows he should have caught and should have had a touchdown.
So instead, it's 2nd and 10. As Stone gives to Wilson. Wilson with some running room up the middle. And he gets across the 30 down to the 29.
And that play right there shows you the kind of workhorse that Wilson is. He's not a guy that's going to get 25, 30 carries on the day. He gets his 15 carries. But right there, Velon had him wrapped up about a yard outside of line of scrimmage. He carried Velon another 4 or 5 yards. Just a workhorse there in the backfield.
3rd down and 4 now for the offense in Stone. He has 3 wideouts to the near side. And he'll give to Wilson. Plenty of running room up the middle. He'll pick up the first down, hit hard. As coming up to make the play was Litchfield Adjavan.
I like those 2 play calls there. Run the football. That we really haven't seen a lot of run plays in the second half. A lot of throws down the field. Use Wilson as the little scat back, change of pace guy. Did a really nice job, both of those plays, getting a first down.
Clock winding down, 15 seconds to play in the third quarter. Stone drops back, looks over the middle. Wide open there is Thomas. And Thomas moves the chains once again down to the 11-yard line.
And another beautifully designed pass play by Woodberry Forest, and a great read there by Stone. Again, a man-to-man coverage out slant combination that he had to read the linebacker. Read him perfectly, delivered a beautiful throw.
Stone walks to the sideline holding up 4 fingers. He's 1 quarter away from victory here in this rivalry game. 20-7, Woodberry Forest leads Episcopal. And you are watching Tigers football on DMV Stream.
All right, so today we're at Towson University for the USA Football Developmental Games, a series of 3 games for USA Football, which is the youth arm of the NFL. We're going to use our drone today. We're going to do a flyover of the field so that we can run that in our broadcast as if like the NFL shows like a blimp aerial shot. So we're going to fly the drone today. You can look down here to my left. You'll see it's a small unmanned aerial vehicle. So simply just going to launch it now, and we're going to fly this bad boy over the field and have some fun.
Well, a lot of the third quarter was penalties. This, not the case. A big play here by Terrell Jenna, taking the opening kickoff of the second half, 90 yards to the house.
Yeah, and I've been wondering why they keep kicking him the football, but a great individual effort there, using his speed to get into the end zone, and really the only big play we saw that entire third quarter.
Stone to throw on the first play of quarter number 4, and it's a touchdown. He connects with Jenna over the top. So they score a touchdown on the first play of the third quarter, score a touchdown on the first play of the fourth quarter, and now have a 26-7 lead with the extra point pending.
Yeah, and Jana had the big drop there at the end of the third quarter that should have been a touchdown, but a great job there, creating space on that man-to-man coverage, and a beautiful throw there on the run by Lyndall Stone, getting him the football, delivering it to him high enough where only Terrell Jana could go up and make a play. Beautiful design, beautiful drive, now up 26-7 on this Episcopal Maroon team.
A low snap, and the hold is down in time for the extra point from Colton Alexander. It's now a 20-point ball game with Woodberry Forest in front. And Mike, once those penalties stopped, you saw this offense get in rhythm.
This offense has done some good things throughout. They did some good things throughout the course of that third quarter, but they had penalties that kept pushing them back. They get a good play, good play, have a penalty, push them back. They just didn't. They couldn't put enough together. They did a nice job on that drive, staying out of penalty trouble, putting things together, and ultimately just doing what they've done all year long. Throw the football, run the football just enough to keep the defense honest, and a great throw and catch there by Lyndall Stone to his big play guy, Terrell Jana.
And the confidence to come back to him right after that drop, as you mentioned. And Jana pulls it down. That's his 19th touchdown of the season, and Stone's 38th through the air.
And that was a big morale play, I think, as well, because moving from that third quarter to this fourth quarter here, watching the guys walk from one side of the field to the other, this Woodberry Forest team had a little bit of a pep to them. You could see it. Everybody was smiling. They were having fun. The Episcopal sideline was a little bit more somber, walking slowly to the other side of the field. That was a big play for morale that might have just put this game away.
Well, we have not seen the big playability yet from Episcopal. That will have to change. As the squib kick gets by everyone, moving back to pick it up is Jones, trying to get through tacklers as he gets it out to the 30-yard line. Good recovery there as Episcopal will take over on offense with just under 12 minutes to play in the game, down by 20.
And you said it has to change. It has to change quickly. Unfortunately, this offense is not a quick strike offense. They have the playmakers out there if they get them in space to score quickly, but this offense is not designed to move down the field in a short time frame.
I asked Coach Clint Alexander what one of the biggest challenges is about facing Episcopal, and one of the things he noted is the desperation for an undefeated season. We will see that here on this drive, and for the remainder of the game as Aguinobi rolls out to his right, looking downfield, throws it, and the catch is made by Shedler Furvis. It looks like the referee's saying it's out of bounds, so incomplete. Furvis unable to get his feet down.
And a tough break there. That was a beautiful design play. Nice rollout. Actually, a really nice throw there by Aguinobi to Furvis. Just couldn't get his feet down.
Four wide receivers now for Episcopal. Aguinobi on the draw. Up the middle, Jones pushing forward. And he's dragged down by Joe Stevenson.
And they've tried that little half roll kind of play action that ends up being a run a couple of times now. Woodberry Forest defense not falling for it. They've done an excellent job today at stopping the run and forcing the Parrish Jones to only have 3 or 4 yards a clip.
They haven't allowed many big plays today. Only the touchdown, really, the 55-yard catch and run by Jonathan Sutherland. As Aguinobi rolls to his right again, throwing downfield, the catch is made again. It looks like Furvis again, and it is. And that'll be enough to move the chains out to the 45-yard line.
Pass to Furvius. Tackle by number 85, Cameron Hill.
And it looks like Furvis is down. Nice throw there by Aguinobi, though, putting it on Furvis, allowing him to create a little bit of separation there with his body and the defender, getting his hands out there and making a nice catch. Good to see him walk off the field in his own power.
Yeah, it looked like he got his ankle caught under himself there on the tackle. But a fresh set of downs here for the Maroon. Brian Peterson checks into the game. Sutherland out there as well. along with Turner Muhammad to the near side. Aguanobi looking to throw. He's flushed out, looking for running room. Scrambling to his right and ducks out of bounds after a gain of a couple.
Carry by Aguanobi.
And I'd really like to see Aguanobi stay in the pocket there a little bit longer. He has guys getting open. He's getting out of the pocket a little too fast, and he's really not getting all that much pressure on him as fast as he's making it seem. He actually had Sutherland there put a beautiful move on the DB, got himself wide open, but at that point Sutherland had already lowered his eyes and trying to make a play with his feet. He needs to keep his eyes downfield and stay in that pocket a little bit more and give his playmakers time to get open.
He now faces 2nd and 9. Aguanobi to throw again. Pressure comes. He evades one rusher, but not the second one. A flag comes flying, a sack there, and it looks like it's Curvin. Curvin and Grass taking down Aguanobi.
And that was Corey Smith who actually broke through and forced Aguanobi out on that play. Grass and the others just rallying around, finishing that play off. As we see here, really nice job by that front four again, forcing pressure. They've done it all day long,
Flag on the play.
and not only stopping the run, but also forcing Aguanobi to be uncomfortable in the pocket.
With help.
So the flag is picked up on the play, but it'll be a 3rd and long. Woodberry Forest student section making some noise here. Aguanobi takes, rolling to his left this time. Floats it out in the flat. That's Turner Muhammad. And he's taken down. And that is Jake Cooper on the stop. It'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, and an interesting decision here. What do? You got 9.5 to go. Almost at midfield, 4th and 8 situation. Do you punt it or do you go for it here? Looks like the offense is going to stay out on the field for a big 4th down try.
And I think that 3rd down play got them in position to have 4th and manageable. I think that decision was made earlier as Aguanobi looks to throw again. He steps up and fires it deep down the right sideline, and he overshoots his man, but a flag comes flying. It might be pass interference here against Woodberry Forest.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be pass interference. The defensive back got a little too handsy there, actually forced him off of his route, but that was a really nice job there by Aguanobi at staying in the pocket. He allowed his guys to get downfield. He stayed in the pocket and delivered the football down the field.
Brian Peterson, number 6 in white, his intended target as we get a look at the replay.
Yeah, again, just staying in the pocket. That allows him to throw the football down the field. And right there you see a little bit of a reroute there by the DB once the ball's in the air. Obviously, that leads to a pass interference call. A big play there for this Episcopal offense.
But, Mike, to your point about him staying in the pocket, that's one of the few times today we've really seen him be able to have his feet set and throw in rhythm. As opposed to on the run.
Exactly, and this is a kid who knows how to throw the football, and it's very difficult for any level of quarterback to throw the football consistently on the run. I want to see him stay in the pocket a little bit more and deliver the football down the field.
So a fresh set of downs for Episcopal, and Woodberry Forest will take a timeout and try to get things sorted out on defense.
Yeah, I think this is just a regroup timeout for Coach Alexander. Obviously, that 4th down play, that's a tough one to swallow as a defense. You had everybody covered. You kind of get, maybe a questionable pass interference call, but definitely a tough one to swallow for this defense. I think this is just a regroup timeout to get the guys, kind of focused back in. And, Clint Alexander knows exactly what he needs to do for his defense.
As we noted, coaching in his final game, he's won 4 straight Prep League titles, including this season. He's won 9 of those titles in his 12 seasons at Woodberry. And a very impressive 81-30-1 record in his 12 seasons at the helm. And Andy Mendoza has more on that.
Hey guys, Coach Alexander here, finishing up his 12th year at Woodberry Forest. Said that he'd never had more than 1 recruit going to UVA in the same class. He's got 3 headed to Charlottesville this year: Lindell Stone, Terrell Jana, and tight end John Curvin. When asked by UVA outside linebackers coach Kelly Papinga about it, Coach told him, honestly, they've been here more than you guys, talking about Stanford and Penn State, because he saw pictures of them in Coach Alexander's office. He said that they've been here more than you guys. It's not like I'm pushing in those schools. It looks like Woodberry Forest could be a pipeline to Charlottesville.
Thanks, Andy. And once again, Paris Jones stopped after minimal yardage. He struggled to get anything going on the ground today. Credit the Woodberry Forest defense. Aguinobi to throw, looking for Sutherland deep down the far sideline. He overthrows him. Feet get tangled up, and Sutherland goes down near the pylon. And that brings up 3rd and long again.
Yeah, a little bit of an overthrow there, but again, we see Aguinobi staying in the pocket. He's a little bit more accurate, throwing the football with more velocity down the field. And I think we're seeing it right now that, it's kind of showing that this is not an offensive unit that likes to throw the football down the field. Really just kind of relying on the fade ball, which, is great when it works, but not so much when it doesn't.
Aguinobi under pressure, and he can't escape. He's stuffed in the backfield by a host of Woodberry Forest defenders, taken down for the sack. And it'll bring up 4th and very long once again for Episcopal.
I mean, we've seen it all day, Matt. The defensive line creating pressure. Seth Aguinobi actually did a pretty good job there at stepping up in the pocket. Unfortunately, when you step up in the pocket and you got a defender breaking loose, very difficult to escape. Another great job there by the defensive line for Woodberry Forest.
4th and 19. They have to make it to the 27 to convert. Aguinobi rolling left. He sets his feet and fires. And the pass short of the sticks. Not sure if it's complete or not, but it won't matter. Furvius with the reception. The referees can't decide what they think. Now incomplete the call on the field.
Interesting play call there, doing a rollout on such a long play. Usually rollouts you're looking to get maybe 10 to 15 yards at the most. It's an interesting play call, and again, I think it goes back to the fact that this Episcopal team is not, this Episcopal offense is not primed to throw the football down the field. They just don't have the weapons, don't have the scheme. It's just not what they do on offense.
And not only was it a rollout, Mike, but it was a rollout where there wasn't a lot of space where he was rolling to, and he was rolling to his left, his non-throwing side, making it really challenging to convert that 4th and 19.
Yeah, very difficult. And again, I think it just goes back to the fact that they're not used to this. They want to run the football. Throwing the football down the field vertically is not what they do, and I think we saw it on that last drive.
7:47 to play in the game. Stone operates, and he hands it off. Some running room there for Wilson as he goes straight up the middle, pushing towards midfield. And Andy has a report. What do you got, Andy?
Hey, guys, you mentioned Episcopal struggles on offense so far, not being able to throw the ball down the field. Big part of that has been the Woodberry Forest defensive line, just not giving them any time in the pocket. You see the quarterback for Episcopal having to scramble a lot, having to run around, and he's having a lot of trouble today, but give a lot of credit to the Woodberry Forest defensive line.
Thanks, Andy. This time, Wilson making the catch out in the flat. A minimal game there. And Mike, sorry, we talked about how Episcopal isn't really accustomed to being down and having to throw. Woodberry Forest, yeah, they're accustomed to being up, but it is going to change the way they call plays on offense. They really want to work this clock, ticking now under 7 minutes.
And you just picked up exactly what I was about to say. Look for this offense to run the football a little bit more and look for high percentage throws. Don't look for any more real deep balls that are very low percentage and they're going to stop the clock.
Falling away is Stone, and the pass is nearly picked. I think it hit the turf, and it just barely did. Flying in and making a diving effort was Vincent Knotson, and it just hit the turf before he was able to reel it in.
Yeah, and you brought up a great point there. Offenses like this, they're so used to going fast, getting points, and throwing the football down the field. When you get in situations like this where you want to bleed clock, this is where offenses like this struggle because they don't know exactly how to slow things down. They're so used to that up-tempo offense that they don't know how to slow things down, and when they do, it throws them out of rhythm.
They'll punt it away here, up by 20. Punt bounds inside the 30, and we'll take a hop towards the sideline. A good Woodberry Forest bounce as it gets all the way inside the 20, where it's touched down there. We mentioned the pass that was nearly picked by Knotson. I want to mention him. He forced a fumble that led to a Villain fumble recovery touchdown against Georgetown Prep. Really seized the momentum in their last game. And that was the play of the game. The fumble recovery and the touchdown off of it that led to this undefeated season up until this point, securing that conference title and that win over Prep a week ago. That undefeated season now very much in jeopardy. 20 points the deficit with just over 6 minutes to play. Aguinobi works from the gun. He looks to throw down the far sideline looking for Portabanco, and it's just out of his reach.
And that's a couple of throws that we've seen him overthrow. He actually had his guy open there on that play. Just needed to put it a little bit less on the football. Actually had some good trajectory to it. Just again, a little bit of an overthrow, and we're seeing it right now. This offense is just not primed to throw the football down the field. It's just not what they do. They're out of sync right now, and they're kind of in desperation mode, to be honest.
Portabanco on the outside had a step in single coverage. And the pass just out of his reach, a deep ball from Aguinobi, who's back to throw again. Flushed out, steps up in the pocket, looking for running room. He escapes, and he's going to pick up a first down. A great job to lose his defender and a Woodberry Forest player down. And they're calling the trainer out.
Great individual effort there by Aguinobi. He actually had his guy that looked like he had Salim Turner Muhammad on a little bit of an out and up had he had the time to throw the football. But just not enough time. Great individual effort to escape the pocket there and get what he could.
Robbie Grass, the senior from Wrentham, Massachusetts, down. As we get a look at the replay, and a great individual effort by Aguinobi to get the first down. Once again, a look at Lyndall Stone and what a career he has had. 4 straight titles, and a lot of that has to do with his 4 years here at Woodberry Forest. Got playing time from the get-go as a freshman, split time, and took over the reins full-time as a junior, and has become the all-time passing leader as you see his stats from the last 2 years. And a completion percentage over 65%. I mean, just incredible numbers, and the touchdown to interception ratio, I think, is what stands out most among very impressive numbers.
Absolutely. I mean, 76 touchdowns to only 15 interceptions in a 2-year span. I mean, that is incredible for a high school quarterback. 65% completion percentage is pretty incredible, too, so a great career for Stone.
All right, now, Mike, we're going to get a look at the replay here. A pretty hard hit right in the middle of your screen. It looks like Grass gets smushed under 2 linemen. And they're looking at his neck or head area, so always a concern.
Yeah, it looked like when he dove forward there, might have kind of dove into the leg of one of his linemen here. We'll see it right here. Kind of falling down out of control. Head gets a little bit, dug into that lineman's leg there. But good to see him walking off in his own power.
Grass, as you mentioned, able to make it to the sideline on his feet. It'll be 1st and 10 after the run by Aguinobi. Empty backfield for him. Flushed out once more, running to his right, and he's going to be dragged down for a sack. Once again, a host of Woodberry Forest players broke through the line, and Aguinobi had nowhere to go.
And that was Cooper Willis, number 60, just breaking through right away at the snap. And if you're Aguinobi, there's nothing you can do there. Very difficult, and there you see number 60, Willis, just getting through. If you're Aguinobi, nothing you can do. Obviously can't step up into the pocket, and just not enough time to throw the football down the field.
We haven't seen much of a screen game today from Episcopal, but I think that would be in order here, as Woodberry Forest is getting great pressure off the snap. 2nd and 15 for Aguinobi. Once again, pressure comes, firing it deep down the far sideline, rather, and again, he fires it out of the reach of Portabanco, who's grabbing at his hamstring on the play.
Yeah, and that's 4 passes that we've seen down the sideline that he's had a guy open, just needed to put him on him. 100%. As a quarterback growing up, we always learned and we were taught that 100% of balls overthrown are incomplete. And you got to hope that he can make an adjustment here, and we saw it earlier. Those long throws. If you underthrow it, you at least give your guy a chance. You maybe get a penalty, but you can't keep throwing these footballs too far.
3rd and 15. Aguinobi again on the run, directing traffic, steps and throws over the middle. And he has Furvius out across the 35-yard line. Short of the marker, but it brings up 4th and manageable.
And that was a really nice job there by Aguinobi moving around in the pocket. We've seen some really good things from him as a passer. It's just it's so inconsistent throughout the course of the day. I mean, that was a beautiful job maneuvering around the pocket and finding a guy to make this now manageable 4th down.
4th and 3. Tigers fans coming to life. 4:30 to play in the game. Aguinobi stops and fires it incomplete. Turnover on downs. A 20-point lead for the Tigers as we check in with Andy Mendoza.
Hey guys, just a quick injury update on Woodbury Forest outside linebacker Robbie Grass. He was on the sideline with the trainers. They were checking out his head neck area. They gave him back his helmet. He's got it back on. It looks like he's getting ready to go back in the game.
Thanks, Andy. Good news there on Robbie Grass. And you always want to be cautious anytime a player's hit in that head or neck area. Of course, the elevated concerns at the professional level in recent years, and those have trickled down to the high school level as well. Woodbury Forest out there in opponent's territory as they start this drive. Stone on the keeper. It will take it up the middle. And not much running room there, but he does use some clock as it will tick down under 4:20 to play in the game.
And what you want to see right now is what we call a 4-minute offense. And the purpose of this offense is to run the football, get 2, maybe 3 first downs. That runs your 4-minute time all the way down to basically nothing. If you can end the game, that's the goal of the 4-minute offense. But right now you need at least 2 or 3 first downs to end this game.
2nd and 8 for Stone, still going in a spread formation. The clock continues to tick as he sends the man in motion. The handoff is up the middle, and taking it is Wilson. And he gets it just about to the first down marker, maybe just a hair short.
Tackled by Pupil and others.
A rivalry victory nearly in the grasp of Coach Clint Alexander here in his final game at Woodbury. We showed you the stats and what a marvelous career he has had and how he has really transformed this program. You can see him pacing up and down the sideline. He knows it's only a matter of 3 minutes as once again Wilson gets the carry. No, it's a keeper by Stone, and Stone takes it down to the 15-yard line.
Carry by Stone. Tackle by Delaney.
We knew Stone could run the football coming into today, but he's done an excellent job at using it as a change of pace. Just a great job here, reading the option, making the pull read. He knows that you saw Verlaine out there, playing the running back. Stone just does a nice job pulling the football, getting the yards that he needed for the first down. And this 4-minute offense is very difficult in high school because you don't have a play clock actually out on the field. They're doing a really nice job right now, it seems, at bleeding that clock all the way down till they absolutely have to snap the football.
Wilson on the carry, running right. And you saw Alexander a second ago.
Tackle by Knotson.
And a flag comes flying, and it looks like Stone might be shaken up. He's reaching for his helmet. Maybe he just got something in his eye. And now another flag comes flying. And in talking with Coach Alexander on the phone this week, it was so evident how much time he puts into this team and this game. He talked about the hours upon hours of film that he watches and how he wants the identity of his team to be that of the New England Patriots, really customizing the game plan each week to the opponent. And that just takes so much work, sifting through game film and trying to figure out the best way to win. Obviously, over the last 4 years, a lot of that has to do with his signal caller, Lyndall Stone, placing a lot of games on his shoulders. But before that, he had a more dominant defense and coached the game a lot differently. And I think that it's really a testament to his ability to make adjustments and adapt to who's on his team and who's on the other side.
And I think not only is he a fantastic strategic coach and putting the game plans together each and every week, and like you said, doing that New England Patriots style where literally every single week you have something different. But I think the big thing that shows at why he's such a great coach is these private schools, you're allowed to recruit different players. You don't win 9 of 12 championships without recruiting the right guys that fit your scheme, that play the way you want them to play, and are really buying into your message. And I think that's what he's done such a great job in all of his years here, is just recruiting the right guys for Woodberry Forest football. And we definitely wish him well moving forward after this season.
Absolutely, and to that point, he talked about how he has to recruit players who can do the academics as well, because that is such a priority here at Woodberry Forest. We mentioned earlier the 6-day-a-week academic schedule. They went to class today, guys, before this game. And so it's not only the challenge of playing for Coach Alexander on the football field, but the challenge in the classroom. And boy, does this school and this coach prepare them well for the next level. Stone in shotgun. It's a read option keeper. Up the middle he goes, pushing towards the goal line, and he gets in. Touchdown, Lyndall Stone. 1 through the air, now 2 on the ground, and it's an exclamation point on what is about to be a rivalry game victory.
And an exclamation point on a storybook career for Lyndall Stone. A fantastic career from freshman to senior year. This kid has been something extremely special, something that Woodberry Forest will always remember, a kid like this, and you know, a player that UVA has to be extremely excited to get their hands on.
The extra point is up and good, 34-7. The Tigers lead it. And with a victory in his back pocket, that man is still coaching, still instructing his players on the sideline with just under 2 minutes to play. As Woodberry Forest is just minutes away from putting a damper on what would have been a perfect season for Episcopal.
And let's not take anything away from Episcopal. I mean, they have played a fantastic season of football. You know, going 8-0, on the verge of going 9-0 and having a perfect season is extremely difficult at any level of football. This is a very impressive football team. They should be very proud of what they've accomplished throughout the course of this season. And an 8-1 record, and your only loss being to a really, really good Woodberry Forest team ranked number 2 in the state of Virginia right now. This is nothing to hang your head on.
Absolutely, but I think what Woodberry Forest has done here today is they have shut down the running game and forced Episcopal to throw the football. And like you said, Mike, that's not their forte, and they have not excelled at it here today. And it's been really challenging for them to pass the ball when this running game has just been stuffed time and time again when they rely so heavily on Paris Jones out of the backfield.
Yeah, and that's the problem with offenses like this. I mean, you see it at every level of football. When you have an offense that is designed to run the football and run it 40, 50 times a game, when you get down 2, 3 scores, it makes it extremely, extremely difficult to come back because you are just not used to throwing the football the way that you need to win games sometimes.
Episcopal is still playing for pride as they hand it off to Jones, running to the right, has some running room, and as he cuts upfield, crossing midfield, and gets it down just about to the 45-yard line.
And you like to see them just continue to compete till the end. You have 1:40 left on your season. Compete till the end. You know, have a great way for these seniors to go out. I mean, Paris Jones has had a great game, only a junior, and he's going to be a big, big part of next year's offense.
Aguinobia Jr. as well as Jones on the carry again, gets to the edge and picks up the first down. A very young team is this Episcopal squad. As I mentioned, Aguinobia and Jones just juniors. And then you have Portabanco, Furvius, both juniors. Turner Muhammad, a sophomore. Sutherland, the lone senior amongst these core group of guys on the offense.
Yeah,
And the
unfortunately,
flag comes in.
Unfortunately, going to lose their captain, Jonathan Sutherland, going to Penn State next year, as we've mentioned. And then, of course, going to lose their big play guy, Luigi Villan, up on that defensive front, going to Michigan. So they're going to have to find different guys next year to really to step up and fill in those roles.
5 yards, still first down.
First and 5 now from Episcopal as they are driving inside a minute 30 to play in the game. Sutherland on the reception on the dump off, and he's dropped immediately. And that's Joe Stevenson, a man who's headed to West Point next year on the stop.
Yeah, we haven't heard much of him today, but he's played a very good game there in that secondary. You know, just moving around, stopping the run. He's been a force up there, and we've talked about it all day. That front seven has done an excellent job stopping the run. He's the leader and one of the reasons why.
And Stevenson comes off, gives a big hug to his head coach, Clint Alexander, as Jones carries, breaks a couple tackles, gets to the edge, and he will score. So Paris Jones not done yet. Gets into the end zone, the second touchdown on the board for Episcopal.
Good to see, though, from Paris Jones. Obviously, the game is out of hand, 34 to 13 right now. But Paris Jones has had a solid day. He's done what he could with the football. You know, has really been bottled up, but the plays that he's had the ability to escape, he's done a really nice job. And good to see him just get that one final touchdown on the year to get a little confidence going for next year.
The extra point by Duncan Trow is true. It's 34-14 with 43 seconds to play in the game as you look at Lyndall Stone. Hugs all around for Woodberry Forest. For many of these players, their final game. Hugs up and down the sidelines as they're just 43 seconds away from victory. Leading their arch rival by 20 points.
And Coach Alexander doing a nice job at just getting guys in the game right now. We just saw a little bit of a mad scramble there on the sideline, trying to find different guys that maybe haven't gotten into the game yet today. Just get them out on the field, get them part of this rivalry, experience this atmosphere that we've had all day. And we really haven't mentioned it. I mean, this is an incredible atmosphere for a high school football game. Both crowds from both schools really brought it today. The student sections were fantastic and an absolutely beautiful campus all the way around. I mean, just a really, really incredible venue for high school football.
You can't say enough about it. Coach Alexander told me that there might only be a few thousand people, but everyone will have their eyes on this game. It won't be a social event, and it will sound like 30,000. It has certainly been a loud and proud crowd today. As they try to pooch kick, onside kick, and it looks like it was successful.
They got it back. Not giving up, not quitting the fight here with 43 seconds left to go.
So Episcopal comes up with the onside recovery. It will take over at the Woodberry Forest 39-yard line. Make it the 38. And now Coach Alexander out on the field talking to his defense.
Yeah, and I think this is an opportunity for Coach Alexander to just basically go out there and say, hey, keep your heads. Keep your heads calm. Obviously, this Episcopal team is not going to quit. They don't want anything to get kind of out of hand here. You know, these are situations where most of the time you would see just a kick deep, take a knee, call it a day, and shake hands. But this is a team, this Episcopal team is going to fight till the very end. So I think this is a timeout for Coach Alexander to basically make sure everybody has their heads together. Don't do anything out of the ordinary, and don't get too chippy here, and let's just get out of here with a win.
Well, Episcopal, like you said, fighting till the end. It's a 20-point ball game with 43 seconds to play, but they've just recovered an onside kick, scored a touchdown just moments ago on the run by Paris Jones. And their offense back out there. Aguinobi in shotgun with Jones to his right. He drops back, looking to throw, fires it deep, looking for Sutherland. Sutherland down the sideline, and he makes the catch in bounds.
Aguinobi's pass complete to Sutherland.
Well, that was the first throw that we've seen Aguinobi make, staying in the pocket and not overthrowing him. Had a lot of room there on the sideline with that deep corner route by Sutherland. And now they're primed up for another touchdown here with 35 seconds to go. Obviously, the game pretty much out of reach, but this Episcopal team not giving up.
Goal to go with Jones on the carry, running right, and he has another one. 2 touchdowns in the final minutes for Paris Jones. And he's certainly padding the stats, if nothing else.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. And it just shows you the kind of coaching that this Episcopal team has, you know, coaches that are not going to give up. This was a 34-7 game. Right now they're about to make it 34-21 with less than a minute to go. They've kind of turned this thing around, and it's not just trying to win the football game. Obviously this game is out of reach, but it just shows the kids that, hey, we're never going to give up regardless of the score. If there's time left on that clock, we're going to keep fighting the entire game.
And it looked like it was the same play he scored on last time and the same recipe to the end zone. Shedding tacklers, cutting it back. And a couple of touchdowns on the day for Paris Jones to give him 15 on the season.
And I would expect that Coach Alexander's going to have this this kick return unit ready for an onside kick.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you.
Absolutely. Interesting onside kick formation they have here. Kind of a half circle.
So Trout to kick off. 27 ticks left. Again, the Pooch onside kick, and it's caught by Woodberry Forest. Taking it to the ground was Will Medic. And he made sure he secured that one, and with it, securing the game.
Well, a fun football game, no doubt. They definitely gave us a little bit of excitement here in that final minute, getting 2 touchdowns within probably, I want to say, close to a 20-second span. You know, not taking a lot of time off the clock. Unfortunately, for Episcopal, just a little bit too late.
Victory formation for Lyndall Stone in his final game in a Woodberry uniform. Drops to a knee. The crowd on its feet. Players on the sideline jumping up and down. Jana points to the sky. He knows he has a victory. The victory seals the career of Coach Clint Alexander. What a career it was here at Woodberry Forest. And he sends his seniors off with a win against their arch rival, Episcopal, ruining their perfect season in the process. The teams line up at midfield and shake hands. Sportsmanship to cap off an intense rivalry game here. The game between Episcopal and Woodberry Forest. And Woodberry Forest comes out victorious, 34-21. As you get a look at the student section here. And again, Mike, just such a spectacle here at Woodberry Forest. The tailgates out on this expansive campus, the crowds here, the student sections on either side, the pregame festivities on the field by both teams, as a matter of fact, and a very good football game to boot.
Yeah, and I think you just said the perfect word for what this rivalry is. It's a spectacle. I mean, both of these schools, both of these campuses are so big and beautiful, and they travel so well for this game. This game is so important to both schools. It means so much to them to get this win. And Coach Alexander, as you see here, getting that game ball, I'm sure that that's the most meaningful game ball that he'll ever get. But, I mean, truly a spectacle to watch this game, and something that I'm extremely blessed to be a part of for the first time.
The crowd giving him a standing ovation. And what a special way to end the career of Clint Alexander, who's holding the game ball, and standing by with the coach is Andy Mendoza.
Here with Woodberry Forest head coach Clint Alexander. Coach, what a game, what a way to be sent off. What emotions are you feeling right now?
I'm just so happy for the kids. We did a great job. All we kept hearing about was how great their defense was. Well, our defense won that game today.
What was the key on defense for you guys? An absolutely dominating performance by the defensive line. What was the key coming in?
We had 2 of our varsity soccer players come down all week, and they played rabbit, and we worked on squeeze drills on that quarterback every day for 2 periods with those 2 guys. They did a great job for us.
Looked like it paid off. Last question for you. After the last touchdown, I saw quarterback Lindell Stone run over to you and give you a hug. What did he say to you?
Oh, just love you. I love him too.
Congrats, Coach. What a way to go out.
Thanks, Andy. Squeeze plays with soccer players. That's a new one, but Coach was prepared for this game. As we get a look at the highlights, it started off with the Woodberry Forest defense, and they really were the key to this game, I think.
Absolutely, and one of our keys to the game for Woodberry Forest was stop the run. That front 7 did an excellent job at stopping the run all day and forcing pressure on Aguinobi when they needed to.
John Curvin gets the carry and the first touchdown on the board. A funky play, a fumble recovery by Khalid Thomas, coming all the way across the field to fall on the loose ball in the end zone.
And again, just great pursuit there by the offensive unit to fall on that football, get the first touchdown of the game.
And then we saw the bomb from Stone to Carter, showing off his arm.
And Stone not as sharp as he has been on the year today, but did enough, as we see right here, using his legs, kind of mixing things up, not having to rely on throwing the football each and every play to score touchdowns.
A great play call there in the red zone as Stone gets in on the ground. Up a couple scores. Here was the answer from Episcopal.
And this was the answer that they needed. Sutherland, being the captain of this team, doing what he could to get into the end zone there, just a perfect answer for what they needed before going into halftime.
So coming out in the second half, it really didn't take long for this game to turn. We were looking for a big play early, and we got a big play early. How about this kickoff return by Terrell Jana?
Yeah, I mean, just a beautiful job by Terrell Jana, breaking that first tackle, and a great job by the special teams unit as a whole, creating blocks and allowing Jana to break free. And once he got to that sideline, you knew he was going to take it all the way.
90 yards to the house as you get a look at the students here as well. They just sang the alma mater. They're coming down from the student section. As you get a look at the sack here as Robbie Grass dragged down Aguinobi.
And this was a theme throughout the entire course of that second half there. That front 7 for Woodberry Forest getting pressure on Aguinobi. As they started to get their lead bigger and bigger, you could just tell that defensive front was pinning their ears back and ready to get to Aguinobi.
Jana scored the first play of the second half, first play of the fourth quarter as well, over the top from Lyndall Stone. And then Stone once more, keeping it himself. He had 3 touchdowns on the day, 1 with his arm, 2 on the ground. But then late, Episcopal didn't give.
Absolutely. Episcopal did not quit regardless of the score, and that speaks to the coaching. It speaks to the kind of culture that this Episcopal team has, fighting their way back regardless of the score, regardless of who was saying, okay, this game's over, whether it be mathematically impossible or not. They fought all the way till the end.
So a couple touchdowns there late from Purvis Jones. And now Andy Mendoza with a report from the sideline.
Hey guys, standing here with Woodberry Forest quarterback Lyndell Stone. Lyndell, what a game for you. What was the game plan for you coming in?
We just wanted to take what's there for us, get in the right play each time and execute. We knew if we just executed and did our job that we'd come out with a win and send Coach Alexander out the right way, and we were able to do that enough times to win.
Noticed you use your legs a lot more than usual in this game. What were you seeing out there that enabled you to use your legs and make some plays?
Honestly, for the most part, it was in the game plan. Kind of been saving myself most of the season, and last game, senior year, no reason to really save any energy. So went out there, we had a few design runs in, and the O-line did a great job, and they worked pretty well. So that's Coach Stevenson's game planning, not really me. So I owe it all to him.
Last question for you. What has Coach Alexander meant to you and the team and this program?
You can't really put it into words. He's been a father to all of us. I mean, all of us are away from home 24/7, and when you have someone like that in your life, a role model who you can really look to for help anytime, that's what you need, and that's the recipe for success. He's built this program off love and character, not off talent or X's and O's. So I really owe him everything. I can't repay him in any way. Hopefully this will just be a little bit of something for him.
I'm sure he appreciates the send-off. Thanks so much for the time, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Andy. As you get a look down live here on the field, the head coach who's meant so much to this program, surrounded by his team, surrounded by the fans, after a big win over the arch rival here as Woodberry defeats Episcopal 34-21 the final. For Andy Mendoza and Mike Niebrick, I'm Matt Present saying so long, and thanks for watching Tiger Football on DMV Stream.